There we go. Hello. Make sure it's actually capturing this time, since the last time I talked for a fucking hour before you guys could hear me. There we go. There's that. Switch should be able to be lightly heard in the background. If not, let me know and I'll fix. If you're wondering why I'm messing with audio, it's because the XLR cable finally showed up. So the mic is no longer using USB, it's using XLR setups through the little amplifier. Which means, yes, now I hear myself and it's weird. But, for those of you who don't know, right now in Scarlet and Violet, there is Golden Week outbreaks. So if you have all of the expansion stuff, it's Rellor, Shinx, Magikarp, and Varoom, because they're all gold shinies. I've already gotten those. I did it the first day, not expecting to get anything, and I literally got every one that I needed. So, it's been a while since we've shiny hunted, like actually shiny hunted. So we're gonna do some generic outbreaks in Scarlet. No, I'm not running sandwiches. We're just gonna clear an outbreak, and if we get something cool, if we don't, we don't. There's like 4 or 5 in Scarlet, so it's about an hour and a half for me. And then, as long as things spawn, we'll switch over to Sword, because in Sword, I've got Poplio eggs going. I don't have a lot, so we'll spend probably about 30 minutes storing up some more Poplio eggs and hatching them, because I've only hatched 30 so far. So that won't be kind of easy, and we'll probably just do random encounters. At some point, we may do DAs. I'm not entirely sure. I'm just kind of playing this one by ear today, see what we do, see how we're feeling type of thing. Because I have about 4 to 5 hours of streaming. Yay. I basically get to stream until dinner's ready. But, fair warning, if you guys do redeem exercises and stuff, because of how the setup currently is, I will have to take my headset off for exercises. And how the mic is now set up, I'm going to be very faint when I count out, so I'm going to have to learn how to project my voice without yelling so I don't disturb my neighbors. Because I don't want to be a bad neighbor. A couple other things going forward. We are close to the 3-year anniversary of this channel. Yeah, 3 years of Twitch. Like, Jesus. Is it 3 years or is it 3 years affiliate? I can't remember. I think it's 3 years of being affiliate. Thank you for the lurk. Also, I hope your day is going well, RJ. So, as of right now, we're tentatively planning, was it late July? So around the I think it's the 24th? No. 25th and 26th, because I have the 27th and the 28th naturally off from work, because I actually have like a set schedule, so it's kind of easy for me to tell which weekends I have off at least. The Wednesdays and Tuesdays I get backwards, but the weekends I have down pat. I'm going to use some extra time to take off, or at least have a shorter shift Thursday and to take off Friday, so I'll have Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. Hi Power, how are you today? Ooh, an Exploud plushie, nice. So I will take off those 3 days at the end of July so we can celebrate the anniversary of the channel. The whole point of that being is that those 3 days are for streaming. I'm glad you're doing good. I'm also doing well today. It's been chaos at work, but hey, I just have to survive one more shift and then I get 2 days off. And that shift's tomorrow night. But I will take those 3 days off. It'll be lots of different streams. I'm not entirely sure what all we're gonna do for the fuck, I can't remember if it's 4-year anniversary. I think it's 3 years of being an affiliate, 4 years of being on Twitch, because it was almost exactly a year for me to hit affiliate because I kept like starting and stopping. So that'll be late July for that. I'm trying to think. There was something else I wanted to talk about, and now I'm like just freaking brain dead. Go me, brain dead. Yes. Wouldn't be a whole stream without me being brain dead. These crafties are just staring at me, by the way. Jesus Christ, that thing picks up so much now. I did not that is on the other side of the table. Why are you like this? Stop it. We're not going to sleep, Switch. You're too cranky whenever you go to sleep. Yeah. We need to finish the, oh yeah. I'm gonna need to try to add, when I get my schedule for the next 4 weeks, I'm gonna try to add Let's Go Pikachu back into the mix, because I want to finish that so I can try my best to finish the decks so we can shiny hunt in that one via the chain catching method. because I'm missing a good bit from Generation 1. I have no idea why I'm missing so much from Generation 1, but I am. So anyway, I'm going to start murdering these guys so they'll stop staring at me. Hi, Turtwigs. Nice to see you guys are over here vibing. Dotrio, just do me a favor and murder everything you see. Because I need to actually start murdering things. Yes. Good birds. Good birds. I've also just kind of started rotating whatever I have in my party just to level them up, because I can. Murder the Scrafty. Specifically that Scrafty. Turtwig, Teacup, Scrafty. Or Scraggy. Sorry, Scrafty's the big one. Scraggy's the little one. I played Gen 5 out of order, don't yell at me. I played Gen 5 after Gen 7, if that makes any sense. Hi, Elekid. You're a problem. Don't be a dick. Let me leave. All right, we have runaway on you. That's why I was using you. Because I didn't want to keep using polka dolls. I also have Litten over here, but I already have the complete Litten line, so we'll see how that goes. Do. I've done like 7 of these guys' outbreaks, so I really hope we get at least one of the Scraggy shinies today. It would be nice. I also have no idea what the shiny looks like. I'm assuming it's a bright, loud shiny, though. Because I think, what is it? Scrafty is green? Like, brightish green? I can't remember if it's brightish green or, like, brightish blue. I don't know, it's, like, some really weird color combo. Murder. But yeah, like I said, we'll bounce around and I'll do my best to update the game titles as we go, as I should. And then, not tomorrow, because I'm not going to stream in the morning. I got errands I got to run and everything else after realizing, oh yeah, it's the 2nd of the month. Time to run errands. I will go ahead on Saturday and we will be doing Fallout. Which you may or may not have Mr. Wolf commentary during Fallout 3, because apparently one of his buddies has invited him over Friday while I'm at work, and they're going to watch the Fallout series together, which I haven't watched that yet either. But they're going to play a drinking game with it. So I'm entirely anticipating Mr. Wolf to not be functional Saturday. That reminds me, I need to get Pedialyte Friday then, because if he's drinking, he's going to need Pedialyte in the morning. Joys of him being not nearly as tolerant as he used to be. Yes, do murders. Murders are good. Oi, it's not a shiny. Murder it. Don't do the damn glitch. I don't want to have to do the rotation shit again. What? That was a weird noise. Wasn't Scraggy, I know that. There we go. Scyther. Betrayal, you bastard. Get out of here. Which I think, because I have shiny Lucario, but I need specifically shiny Riolu, or is it vice versa? I don't remember if I remember. But because it's such a pain to shiny hunt Riolu specifically in Legends Arceus, we might do that one as eggs. I'm also slowly saving up fossils for the fossil combinations so we can try to shiny hunt the fossils in Sword. Because surprisingly, I don't have a huge stockpile of fossils in Shield. I expected to, but I don't. That might be something we do during the 4-year anniversary. That might be when I finally reset Shield and we do the Shield playthrough. Because I need to reset Shield for the DAs. Yes, yes. Do a murder. Let's be careful not to get too close to that. Murder. Go take care of that one. Because I can't get too close, otherwise it hard resets everything. Like a pain in the butt. Ooh, Basculin. Which Basculin? I'll find out. Do the catchy catch. I'm so glad I set up a button for that. Is that a Beldum? Okay, no, it's blue. I was like, wait, is that a shiny Beldum? I don't need shiny Beldum, but no, it's blue. It's just the dynamic lighting. It's always the dynamic lighting, man. Guess I should have been able to tell because its little feet seats aren't yellow. They're silver. The amount of times I've been doing random outbreaks in this game, and it's just, oh yeah, here's a random full odd shiny, either right after the freaking outbreak ends or in the middle of the outbreak. It happens a lot. Doo-doo-doo. Which I finally, in Scarlet, went ahead and spent my battle points and I unlocked the item machine and I've already leveled it all the way up, so I can now also gamble away my points. I'm really glad that one up there's not a shiny. I'd be so pissed because it'd be like almost guaranteed to reset. Get him. Thank you. Do 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 do. Ah, like in a river room outbreak, random shiny Orthworm popped up for you. Oh, that's cool, RJ. I have not gotten shiny Orthworm yet. Not for a lack of trying, though. I've lost track of how many freaking Orthworm outbreaks I've done. I just don't like using sandwiches, and I don't like resetting outbreaks if I can help it. So, of course, to be fair, I don't play a whole lot of Scarlet Violet still. It's just a lot of, well, okay, there's an event going on that's beyond just catch a mighty starter, basically. There we go. Oh, I also finished the, I now have at least one of each type of sweet when it comes to the alchemies for the shinies, finally. I finally got the last two that I need from the item lotto. So I got the ribbon and the star one finally. So we have all 8 shiny alchemies. I'm not doing 63 for the different swirls. You can't tell on the shinies, okay? But that officially finishes Alchemy and the Milcery line, which makes me very, very happy. Just watching this Dotrio run around murdering things with extreme prejudice. But we got those done. I got my 2 shiny Reverooms, so I have them taken care of. I have the shiny Relor and the Repscara already. Like I said, the Golden Week outbreaks were very generous to me. They're like, oh, first day? Yeah, here you go. Here's everything you need. But now I'm stuck waiting for Golden Week to end so I can get more outbreaks. Beyond, like, the 4 a day that I'm like, oh, okay, these are, you know, what I'm interested in. Tell the outbreak's definitely getting lower because I'm getting more spawns that aren't. Oh, Pawmont leveled up. Oh yeah, that Pawmont's an event Pawmont that you can claim right now. It's weird. It was for an, the idol who sings Oshino Koi's opening song. I guess she did a tour in the US, so they released a Pawmont for her specifically. I don't know. It's the weirdest freaking thing. Also, for anyone who's still playing Pokemon Go, log in right now or within the next 3 days if you can, because there is a free special research that is not timed. You just have to log in within the next 36 hours to activate it, and you can get a free Diancie from it. So you can get a free mythical. Now, I'm going to assume that it is shiny locked, because it's almost always shiny locked. No, it's just the lighting. It's just the lighting. Okay, I don't think we got a shiny off that one. That's fine. I'm going to continue to murder because I can. Be thorough. Leave no survivors. Hello, Electabuzz. Thank you for not being fucking orange. I've seen way too many orange Electabuzz. It tickled. Do 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 do. You are still a problem that I have to deal with at some point. Yes, that is an item. Okay, next one. I think there's one more here. I know there's only one in Kitakami. Or was it two? I don't know. Oh, didn't mean to bump that. Pyroar I still need. I don't need Blossom. I need Oddish and Gloom. And then, like I said, I don't need the Rellors. So, one more. And then we go to the next part of the map, because map! To be fair, if I was smart, I'd probably just, you know, run across the map, because that's how I seem to find shinies in this game. Completely at random. Alright, Groudon. I would have laughed so hard if one of those Litleos had been shiny. Because I only have one shiny Litleo right now, and I think I have one shiny Pyroar, but I can't remember if it's male or female, so... Might as well do another. Let's see. You. Front. At least you guys are in a good spawning point. Normally this one's always like up on a cliff somewhere, like over there, and it's the most obnoxious thing ever to frickin' try to clear out. You have arrived at your destination. I would hope so. Hi. No murders me. I murder you. I don't know why, but it seems like I can never, like on the evolved Pokemon, I can never get like the full 15 to spawn. Hi. I have a water type move for you. Leave me alone. You do not sparkle, therefore you do not spark joy. And therefore, perish. Ooh, okay. And yes, I constantly am cursing this game's dynamic lighting. It's cool, don't get me wrong, but there's so many subtle shinies, you're like, wait a minute. Are you the shade difference, or are you just because of the light? And you're like, ah, the light. It's always the light. Until it's not. I also got, what was it, another shiny Deerling finally. See, like, I can tell that that one's not a shiny because he's too dark on his body color. He's not light enough. Hi, Flygon. You could have, you know, been nice and not been a dick. But you chose violence, and therefore I fight back. Schmack. Schmack, 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 schmack. Okay, you two are normal. Ogerpon, go do murders. Stop staring at them. Your job is to very, very meticulously murder them. For being in the outbreak zone, it's not spawning more Pyroars, it's spawning Trapinch again. I hate when it does that. Because if I do a sandwich, it'd have to be a normal type sandwich, because there's other fire types that spawn around here. Regular Litleo. Hi. Do. I haven't seen the notification that's going down yet either. And there's Rhydons, yay. Or not Rhydons, Rhyhorns. Sorry, Rhyhorns, not Rhydons. Rhydon's the middle form. What used to be the final form, but is now the middle form. Cause yay, Gen 4. No, it's just the hair waving. Starting to go down. Okay, so there's our first notifications. That means we've gotten at least 25? And every time I catch like their hair, whenever it like bobs, I'm like, wait a minute. And then I look closer and I'm like, no. I don't even remember what gender of Pyroar I need. That's probably something I should pay attention to. Because I'm not hunting down like all of the different shinies with different gender forms. Like the subtle difference between Venusaurs, I'm like not worried about. But things like Pyroar, Hippopotas, you know, things that have blatantly very obvious differences for male and female, where you don't have to like stare at it. Those I try to find. It's the whole reason why instead of 1 alchemy, we did the 8, because each one has a different trait attached to it. That's a Yama. Or not a Yama. Fuck. Verbrava. Yama's bright red. That's green and tan. Listen, I'm waiting for a week at work where I don't have to deal with people constantly being out sick, and then everybody else just being like, I'm gonna, like, do just enough to not immediately get fired. Because, like, we got one coworker doing that crap right now, and it's bad, because it's just making more work for everybody else. And so then it puts everybody else in a bad mood, and I'm just like, I'm so tired. Like, our salad bar has been incredibly busy the past 2 days. I came into work yesterday, and they were so busy on Wednesday that they had stolen from yesterday's, like, salad bar prep, because we prep it, like, the day before type of thing, because we want backups for the stuff we have to cut. But they used the backups, and then they didn't really replace it. So it was essentially like half my salad bar was empty the minute I put it out yesterday. So I had to double cut salad bar yesterday, and then I had to do the same thing again today, too. I'm just like, man, that's so much. It's so much. Yes. Become KO'd. I swear to God, every time I look over and I see like the slightly paler tan, I'm like, ugh, and then I'm like, wait, no, it's the moon. It's the light of the moon. The body is still the normal color. The legs are just slightly shinier looking because silver moonlight. Yes, go do a murder. I haven't seen the second notification pop up yet. Oh yeah, so like a week ago, I don't listen to a whole lot of podcasts. Occasionally I do. Occasionally I'm in a mood and I'll listen to one. And I've been listening to some, well, it's a series basically, about how certain, like in Wyoming and California and stuff, where the bigger cattle ranches are in the US, how some of them are changing their agriculture for a better way. Like they're actually doing better agricultural practices, and it makes me really happy to kind of hear. But it's also really funny because they're starting to, on the research for this, they're starting to generalize, well, because of these types of grasses, you know, the cattle are really good at management. Because the cattle used to be a problem, right? They would overgraze and everything, and, you know, these grasses suffered because of it. Well, because of invasive species of grasses, we now, especially out in California and Wyoming, there's now lots of grasses that form a thatch layer, basically. So it grows up, it falls over, it dies, but it doesn't detach itself when it dies. So it just forms this really thick layer. But the grasses, or the cows, love these grasses, and so they'll eat the thatch grasses. And they're like, oh, but it's great for our wildflower population. Because the cattle don't eat wildflowers. So because they're knocking down and taking care of the thatch problem that was choking out the wildflowers are returned because the cattle don't eat them. And they're making that like a general sense, oh, this is great, you know, if you want wildflowers and stuff, you can have cattle type of thing. The issue is this is a very specific set of wildflowers that cattle won't eat. Because in my home state of Oklahoma, there are protected areas. Like people have, not many left, okay. They literally have their land where cattle are not allowed to graze because it is they have plants that naturally grow that are protected plants. One of them is, I believe it's called the aster starflower or something like that. Like it's some sort of aster, if I remember correctly. And the reason that cattle can't be near these flowers is not because these flowers are toxic. It's because these cattle love this goddamn flower so much that they will ignore everything else to eat these flowers first. And it's a protected flower because it's endangered. So in order to protect the flowers, cattle aren't allowed to graze on those lands in Oklahoma, which, I mean, Oklahoma is nothing but, it's all private land. Like, all land in Oklahoma is owned by some entity. It's not like Arizona, California, Wyoming and stuff where there's a bunch of BLM land or government-owned land that is technically public access. That doesn't exist in Oklahoma. But it's really funny to me that they were making that generalization on the BLM land now. And they're like, yeah, it's great because our wildflowers are naturally coming back and recovering. You know, the cows were kind of part of the problem. Now they're part of the solution. It's really cool. And I'm like, that's cool, but don't make that generalization because not all wildflowers do cattle ignore. There are certain species of wildflower that they will eat up because it tastes like ice, like it's the equivalent of their ice cream to them. It has no nutritional value. It's just something sweet that they love. which I don't think cattle can actually taste sweetness, but you get my point. So I just thought it was kind of funny because they were making that generalization, and the researcher in me was immediately like, but I already know of like so many prime examples that have been researched, written, and reported on that disprove this. Like, it's great in your area. Yes, it works in your zone, but don't make generalizations about it because it's not true for a generalization statement. Because generalization statements in science are very, very tricky to deal with. But I also like the fact that a lot of the ranchers now are shifting away because, so like Yellowstone has reintroduced the wolves. They did that back in 1995. I know, you guys have heard me talk about that like en masse before. Okay, they have dispersed. I will finish murdering, but I don't see any sparkly ones or any shinies. But, so a lot of the ranchers out west in Wyoming and stuff, in California and things, where the wolf population has been recovering now because of this reintroduction for years, they normally just deal with the wolf. Like, they're like, oh, a wolf killed my cow or my calf, and because of that, it's my right to take it down. And the government has said that, yes, it's within the rancher's right or whatever. But now we have other groups of ranchers who are like, you know, when our cattle are out grazing on BLM land, we literally are on horseback with the cattle 24/7 because just our presence is enough to keep the wolves away so we don't lose cattle. And it's kind of interesting to me that we have people who are going back to that lifestyle of being on the range with the cattle for 4 to 6 months out of the year because it's just easier to prove that the wolves don't come near you if there's human presence nearby. Not Skiploom. We have Skiploom. I need this one, though. So you. And we're going to fly from this one. We're going to fly to East Province Area 3. So it's just small things like that. I'm always all for hearing about how agriculture is changing because I grew up in an agricultural farmland. Like, that's just the area I grew up in. Everyone either raised cattle or they grew hay for cattle and or horses. That was literally my life. But then there's the conservationist in me who understands how important keystone species are, let alone predator species, because we've hunted so many goddamn predators that they don't really exist anymore, which is why places like Oklahoma and Texas are having huge issues with wild fucking boar. So many goddamn pigs. So many wild pigs that tear up every goddamn thing that get huge for no fucking reason. But the issue is that we no longer, we don't have predators that can deal with them anymore. We've taken out so many of those predators in those states. And most of those states just have an open all-season bounty on the suckers. The issue is that they're so violent and they're so smart that we can't keep up with them. They also reproduce way too fast. So while it is a thing, it's such an annoyance of a thing. Hip. There we go. So it's interesting to see how, kind of going back on that tangent, agriculture has shifted. And the reason it's interesting to me see how agriculture is shifting compared to, you guys are dark fairy types, aren't you? Ah, God, steel type. I need a steel type. Where's that Archaludon? But it's so interesting to me because of the fact, yes, you swap for you, I guess. And then reopen, because this is the dumb part. All right. Go, do a murder. Bro, it's right there. Murder it. That is what I need you to murder, are those things. But it's interesting to me to see how, certain ranchers are finally changing their ways. Because when I was growing up, ranchers did not fucking, I did it this way, my daddy did it this way, my grandpappy did it this way, this is the way we do it. That was their mentality so fucking much with every rancher I came across. Either rancher or person who grew hay, like a farmer or anything like that. It was their freaking mentality. But it's so nice seeing that they're willing to change their perspective now. A lot of it is because of the younger generation of people helping them with the farms, whether or not they are direct family members or people who are helping with farms, because it has gotten so dire in the U.S. for people needing to become farmers and or ranchers, mainly farmers, that there are now programs in certain states where if you want to be a farmer but you can't afford the land, and there's an older farmer who's still actively farming, you go work his land or their land for them, with the older farmer being your co-signer on everything for all your loans and overseeing it to teach you what they know, because the whole family business thing, like the kids got burnt out on it growing up on it, so they just left. They are like, this is not the lifestyle I want, and they leave. And then, you know, we're struggling because we don't have enough people in agriculture. Well, it's because, you know, farmers never make money, period. The system is not allowing farmers to make any money. And I don't mean that in the sense of, oh, they need to line their pockets. I mean break even. A farmer's good year is a year they break even, because most farmers are spending at least $32,000 to $50,000, depending on how much acreage and what crops are raising, for the seeds. Because guess what? All the seeds are now genetically modified, and those genetic modifications have been allowed to be patented. And because of those patents, those plants are literally designed to where they can't reproduce with viable seeds after the first generation. You have to buy seeds every single year. It is insane to me that that has been allowed to exist. And like, that's, if you guys remember, or if you're old enough to know of and or remember the big, you know, like anti-GMO or GMO movement, newsflash, every single crop you ingest is genetically modified, technically, because we've done selective breeding for them for generations. The difference is that the reason we had the whole propaganda of GMOs are bad. Is that it? That's it! Holy crap! Let's go! Yeah! Okay, I'm just gonna put it in a quick ball. Yay! So there's one shiny today. That makes me happy. Oh, you of course you're a dick. We're just gonna clip that. But, oh, you're level 100. Fuck, I need someone who can't kill this thing. I don't like this. I'm gonna have to just chuck Pokeballs at it and pray. I also didn't save before. Damn it, me! Damn it! I need the blue boy. This is a boy, right? Yes, it is a male. Okay, well, I mean, I have the repeat ball, but I don't want to use the repeat ball. It's like the least one that matches. I mean, Great Ball's pretty close in all reality. It's just, instead of purple, it has red. Hey, there's a critical capture. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. Let's go. Okay, cool. So that officially puts us to 517. Hi. Okay, no. I want to see, do you have a mark? Probably not. Yeah. There we go. But anyway, as I was saying before I spotted it, I will continue to murder, though. Where are they at? There they are. But farmers are literally designed, like farmers and ranchers in general are designed by the system to stay in as much debt as they can humanly, fuck, I know how to speak, like, can. Chicken farmers or chicken ranchers, they're in debt to Tyson. They have to buy the chicks from Tyson. They're not allowed to breed chickens. And if you don't, and here's the thing, when you buy chickens from Tyson to raise as a chicken rancher, those chickens are already going to be sold to Tyson at a specific rate before, like, back to them, basically. Because you're not technically buying them, you're loaning them out. Like, you are buying them on a loan. They're being leased to you to raise. You pay up front out of your pocket the cost of feeding, watering, antibiotics, all of that. And if you don't meet your quota, you have to pay Tyson for the loss. Again, it's all about keeping our agricultural sector in debt. Now, most farmers, ranchers, whatever, they don't want a ton of money. They don't want to be a millionaire, but they do want to live comfortably. They don't want to live in fear of having $100,000 loan every year just for their crops. And that's not even including the cost of their farming equipment anymore. Most of those big John Deere tractors and stuff, or pieces, the combines, the harvesters, all that shit, those things go for upwards of 500, or not 500K, but like at least 250K now on some of the newer models. Some of the bigger models, probably you could get them even more expensive, but Most base models are at least 100 grand nowadays. It is insane to me. Now, here's the bad part about this line. Imp and Dimp is the last one I need shiny. I already have the final form shiny. So me hunting the rest of this outbreak isn't quite helping, but if I don't clear it, I will come back to it like an idiot. But, so anyway, it's just, it boggles my mind that we have determined that agriculture, the thing that keeps us fed, the thing that, you know, theoretically takes care of the human race, is not important enough to honor them. Because that's the thing. People are like, oh, it's been so bad, we've had hot droughts and stuff. Yeah, now think about that from an agricultural standpoint. Or even better yet, those wildfires. Every time after those wildfires happen, if you're on the interstate and you're near agriculture, do you see just trailers and trailers and trailers of hay being hauled towards where the wildfire was? Yeah, it's because they've lost all their crop. So now the rest of the agricultural community is donating whatever they can to help, because they know it's a make or break year anytime there's wildfires. It is such a common thing. Right now, we just had all those big tornadoes go through Oklahoma, and what was it? Indiana, I think, got hit really hard. I want to say it was Indiana. Might have also been Iowa. But we had, you know, we've had multiple states get hit really hard. And so because of those natural disasters, the agricultural community is sending massive amounts of hay to those locations. Massive amounts of hay. Anyone who can help with agriculture, for animal care, shelter, vet bills. Like, there's so many posts already of people looking, hey, my horses got out during the storm. This is their markings. This is how that you can get them to you. If you can get a hold of them, let me know. Hey, my cows are gone. You know, like, that is just so common. And that's because if farmers don't help each other, they all suffer for it. Because the hope is that if they help somebody in their time of need, that whenever that farmer is eventually in a pinch, that they will also receive help from the community. And it's something that I've seen growing up time and time and time again. I mean, Christ, my best friend, her dad raises cattle. Like, he still raises cattle. Like, he has a day job too, because he obviously can't break even and he has to pay for cows somehow. But what we used to do, so what are you hunting? I just found the shiny Morgrim. I'm just kind of clearing my Scarlet and Violet outbreaks that are not the Golden Week ones, because I've already gotten those. I'm seeing what all I can kind of find today, and then we're going to switch to Sword. I've got some Poplio eggs going in Sword. I need to get some more built up, and we'll probably just do random encounters and see what all we can find. It's a whatever I can get a hold of, because I'm working on a shiny living dex. I hardly ever have a specific thing that I'm hunting. Come on. And I already have the Grimmsnarl shiny, so the last one I need for this line's now Imp and Dimp, but I like clearing the outbreak because I'll forget that I've been to this outbreak, and I'll come back to it. Yes. Also, for some reason, when it comes to Scarlet and Violet, if I don't get a shiny from an outbreak, almost always I will turn around, well, like every 3 outbreaks or so. If I don't get one from the outbreak itself, I'll turn around and there'll be a random full odds one that has nothing to do with the outbreak, so. Another reason I like clearing these things. Okay, so they have dispersed. Cool. One more last scan around. The only problem with this area is, like, Shootle and Grafii spawn over here, and they are tiny, and you have to look at their eyes. Okay, so that takes care of that outbreak, which means our next one is the Gumshoos, because I still don't have these guys. I don't have Gumshoe or Yungoos shiny, the weird pink dudes that they are. But I'm glad to see the agriculture industry, at least in the US, starting to evolve and adapt a little bit better. You. Because you have the type advantage. Nope, right here, wrong button. The other controller took over for a minute. Right, you, go. Begin. I doubt I get another outbreak from shinies, but or another shiny from an outbreak. Blech, I'm tired. Not tired, just brain dead. Like always, nothing new. I am Wolf, and I'm constantly sleep deprived and or tired. Sick coworker is still sick. We are not surprised. Homeboy's immune system has been through the ringer the past year and a half. You guys are so ugly. I've taken classes in agriculture and I live in Hawaii. Ooh, okay. See, that's interesting to me because I know Hawaii has a very delicate ecosystem, which is why a lot of people who are native to Hawaii don't want more like tourists or anything because people just don't respect areas that aren't theirs. You can fight them. They're not shiny. You can do it. Get her. But I also know that, like, what was it? Maui had... Was it the island of Maui or was it the other island? Crap. But you guys had that fire that ravaged through, and they're like, oh, it was this wildfire, and it was determined that it was the power grid failing because they got told, hey, or the power company was told, hey, you guys need to fix this stuff, and they didn't. And so it led to a fucking fire. That type of shit pisses me off. Like, I feel like if you are mandated to fix it, you have to fix it within, like, 2 months, and you should be able to show with receipts that you fixed it, not patched it, not duct taped it and prayed. Like, you honest to goodness fixed it. Because, like, I'm from Oklahoma, so I'm used to Oklahoma and Texas's BS, which... aquaculture, I'm sorry. Ocean farming. See, I know next to nothing about the ocean farming stuff. I know you guys... Like, I know there's, like, fishes... Like, not fishes... Fish farms, essentially, like, where you guys breed and raise the fish. I'm just not a landlocked state. We don't have a whole lot of water beyond, like, stocking for bass and stuff. Like, our wildlife department will breed and raise trout and bass to release into lakes and rivers for people to fish every year. So, like, we have, like, stock pools like that. I'm not Hawaii native. I grew up in California. I moved out here for college. Oh, cool! Are you studying aquaculture then? Or is it just something that you're kind of exposed to a lot because of where you're going to college? Starting to go down. Yay! I just went to a college, like, right down the road. Like, I went to a college 40 minutes from where I grew up, but that was because it was the only college willing to, like, pay me to attend, and I did not want to risk having a bunch of more student loans. I mean, that's kind of aquaculture. It kind of is. I just know loosely about it. My husband's actually had more hands-on study with it. Marine science. Oh, cool. So related-ish field. Fair enough. I just have a bachelor's in biology, and I've been trying to do field biology, and I want to go get my master's, but again, trying to avoid student loan debt while doing the same thing is a pain in the butt. Okay, yes, thank you. Guys, I'm off work. I don't know why you're messaging me. I will be at work tomorrow night. Leave me a note or something. Nope. Palmont. Wrong direction. Fight them. Don't run from them. Fight them. I don't want to fight them. That's why you're doing it. I'm also just waiting for one of you guys to be a bright, obnoxious pink. I think you guys are still bright, obnoxious pink. I know Young Goose is. I think Gumshoes is the same color. Gumshoes is just an angry old grandpa of a weasel. I know what he actually looks like, but I'm not saying that person's name. There we go. But no, my husband got to study. He studied at Murray State for a couple semesters. And so he had, I wanted to do marine bio, but I went into marine science, which is an umbrella for marine bio and oceanography. Fair enough. I started off as pre-medicine, like pre-physical medicine biology, and then I switched it to field biology about halfway through. Oh, thank you for the follow, new friend. Welcome on in. Hey, there we go. But I also grew up, I grew up on a horse ranch. So, like, Mom was she still kind of is. Mom was a horse trainer. Now she does mainly just room and board for horses and helps oversee breeding season for some people. But I've grown up surrounded by rural agriculture, basically. It's always a weird thing. But one thing we would do, back on the tangent with my mom or my best friend and her dad raising cattle, was we trained cutting horses. So Western discipline horses for cattle work, basically. That's exactly what we specified in, was quarter horses who actually were stock bred to go work cattle. Yes, you could show them, but these weren't like the pretty halter horses. These were actual, had bone structure still, because they were used to, being with cattle and being ridden all day long. But because we couldn't afford cattle every year, because we could only really train on younger cows, we would borrow 10 to 15 that we basically leased from my friend's dad. And the deal was we fattened them up for market, and we got to train with them while they were on our property. Like, that was essentially the deal. And every year, there's always one crazy cow. Every single year. I go to a college of 4,000 students. It's a small school. Mine was about 5,000. So you're not that far off from what I was size-wise. Kudos to going Hawaii, though. Like, that's honestly impressive. Like I said, I had way too much financial aid help from the fact that I was staying in the state I grew up in versus going out of state. So I didn't leave my home state for college. Sometimes I wish I did, other times I'm really glad I didn't. Yes, murder. But yeah, we would lease 15 cattle, and we would raise them up, fatten them up, while using them to train the younger horses with and everything. Farmtown in Tennessee that raises AQHA horses. I like this time of year because baby horses, yes, foaling season's the best. I like this time of year. I like it a lot more now that I'm not the one having to stay up all night watching mares, because that used to be my job, and oh god, it was a thing. Oh, goes to school half asleep. You okay, Wolf? Yeah, it's foaling season. I follow a farm in Tennessee that raises... Okay, yeah. Sorry, I already read that one. We always did that, man. It was... We did AQHA. A lot of what we still raise are AQHA show horses, but we don't show a whole lot anymore. Are you talking about Katie Van Sky and Seven? Because if so, I know which one you're talking about. Baby Seven is a literal miracle and a half. The fact that he was born as fully developed as he was, and it was just his knees and his hocks that were messed up, like, and that's just because they weren't developed. Like, he's developing them now. Like, that baby is proven he is a fighter through and through. I already like that she's admitted that he's going to be a pet. Like, they're not planning on showing him or anything. That was my bigger concern, because there's so many people, especially in the horse world, that they're like, yeah, it's gonna be a pet, and then it's not a pet, and they're mad that they can't show it. It's like, bro, there's a reason why you wanted it to be a pet. It's because you don't want to, like, hurt the horse. Because we had that happen one time. We had a client, and they had bought a second stallion, because this was our main client for years. They had allowed him to live as good of a life as he can. Yeah, exactly. But we had this client at the point when they bought this colt, because he was their second stud prospect, because they had bought one the very first year they'd started this whole big operation that we were running for them. He was, I want to say, 4 or 5 years old. So, like, he had started showing a little bit, but not, like, heavy. And his whole thing was, he was beautiful. He was a solid black stallion. Like, wasn't brown or anything unless you left him outside and he sun-bleached. But they decided that they wanted to do more with him. And it's like, okay. Well, the issue is he was a stunted grower. So he was still really, really small, but his growth plates, when we examined him, I had the vet examine him, were still wide open. So he had plenty of growing to do. He was just a really late bloomer on growing. So my mom didn't want to push the colt because she didn't want to injure him. Because if you push horses when they're too young too fast, they will injure themselves. And, like, we're talking their legs getting injured, their tendons getting injured, to the point that it is a lifelong debilitating injury. I feel so bad for Katie losing Cool. That is the risk of breeding. I feel very sad that she lost Cool and that she lost that foal. My mom, she was foaling out babies for somebody last year, and for the first time in, I think, 22 years, they lost a foal. They almost lost the mare, but they actually managed to save the mare, thankfully. But they did lose the foal last year. And some years it's like that, where everyone just has the worst luck when it comes to it. Okay, there's no more, and it's out. Okay, dispersed. Let me pull up the next one. Like, it sucks. It really, really sucks. I remember, what was it? The first time we had, the first time we had lost, we'd had a mare and baby, and baby was born breech. So, oops, right here, wrong button. Back hooves came out first, not front hooves, because normally they're born in a diving position. So front hooves out, head tucked, and the hips and the back feet are obviously last. The issue with that, where am I? I'm on the other side of the map where I need to be, was that this baby was born breech. So it came out back legs first, and the hips, when they come out backwards, the issue with it is that the hips often will lock into the mom's pelvis and they get stuck. That's why breech is so dangerous. We managed to unstick the foal without injuring mama. And we thought the foal was going to do good because, usually we're like the first 72 hours, especially if they're born breech or anything like that, it's real touch and go because you have to monitor them closely just in case they don't develop any other issues. We were past that 72-hour window and we're like, okay, cool. We were still in the breeding barn, but at the time it was my mom and myself. It was the two of us on this big 120 horse ranch that we were doing for this client. Mind you, this was an hour drive from where we lived. This was not our property. So we were driving an hour one way every day to be with these animals. And we got up there the following morning and baby would have been 4 days old. And at some point in the night, it had just passed away. The vet couldn't find anything. They're like, it looks like the heart just literally stopped. And we're like, that's weird. And he's like, it happens. It can be a reaction to a traumatic birth. And that's exactly what a breech birth is. It's very traumatic for foal and mom because baby's stuck in the birthing canal a little too long. So it is very sad to lose a mare. It's very sad to lose a baby. It is sadly, though, a risk that you have to deal with when breeding horses or any animal in any period. I worked in wildlife rehab. Death is a natural part of life. You can't save every animal. I've had insane stories from rehab birds that shouldn't have surviving. Yeah. No, it happens all the time. Animals can defy the odds, but just like you said, you can't save every animal. Case in point, the reason why my mom was a trainer for somebody else and not like breeding and raising her own stock was when I was younger, was about, 7? Yeah, I was about 7. She had a prospect stallion. Beautiful Palomino. We called him PC. His name was Personal Contender. Now, at this point, my parents had started the horsing farm and training and everything out in Arizona. So PC was born out in Arizona, and we had moved to Oklahoma when I was like 2 or 3. I don't remember the move. That's all I know. So that's all my mom had raised horses in was Arizona, because that's where she was from. The issue is that there's a thing called, there's lots of different issues. Hang on. Okay, they're just doing low flying. There's lots of different issues with this because in Oklahoma, there's things called blister beetles. And they can get into the alfalfa in the hay, depending on what time of year it is, because of how cool it can be in Oklahoma compared to Arizona. Arizona doesn't get blister beetles normally because Arizona's a lot hotter, and the blister beetle can't survive. Okay, it's not shiny. If I remember correctly, the eye color is what changes on these guys. There's also the fact that Oklahoma has possums. Arizona can have possums, but they're not as common. They're a lot rarer. So having to deal with EMP, is a lot less common in Arizona. My mom didn't know what it was until we got to Oklahoma, because that's what caused us to lose her stallion PC. Because what had happened is that we had been storing the hay in the barn, and one night possum gets in the barn. Okay, that's not surprising. We didn't have barn doors at the time. My dad was literally in the process of still finishing building the barn. It was just kind of whenever they had money to work on the barn, they did. It had roof, it had walls, it had pens. It did not have big barn doors. To this day, I don't think that thing still has barn doors. No, thank you for the follow. I welcome it. But we had a possum who spent the night in the barn. Now we have, farm dogs and stuff, or we usually did, but we'd always lock them up at night because the coyote population was so massive in our area, and we didn't want our dogs fighting with coyotes. Like, that's just They're like, all right, if they stay away from us, we don't care. But we didn't want the dogs running off chasing coyotes. So we always locked the dogs up at night. Well, a possum had gotten in the hay and it had urinated on the hay. Little did we know that this possum was a carrier of the bacteria that causes EFMP, which is a neurological condition. You can save horses from it and you can have them recover from it. The issue is the horse is now intolerant to heat or any major stressor because it's a neurological condition. Basically, we woke up the next morning, went to check on the stud to turn him out for the day because he had this big run, but we always turned him out during the day so he was monitored while we were, outside working the other horses. That was kind of the idea. And then he would go back in his stall at night so that way he was safe and everything else. We didn't have to worry about, again, coyotes or anything like that. We came out and he's just stumbling. It was the weirdest thing, The stud's not even 7 years old, I think, at the time. Like, he was about my age. Yeah, he was about my age. I think he might have been a year younger than me, actually, because his sister was a year older than he was. And he's just, his head's down low, his lips real loose, like he's almost like he's freaking been given Banamine, painkiller, It's almost like he's doped up. We're like, this is weird. But he can't walk. He stumbles every time he tries to take a step. We're like, what's going on? So we call out the vet because we're like, we've never seen this. I mean, prior to my mom raising horses, she was a vet tech. So she's seen a lot. She's worked on large animals and everything else. And she had no clue. She's like, this is weird. So we called the vet, and the vet's like, where's his hay? We go ahead, we pull his hay out, and he'd been eating on it. He's like, it's wet. And he's like, did it rain last night down here? We're like, no, it's been dry all week. He's like, shit. And we're like, what? He's like, well, I know you guys got possums here because of the woods. We're like, well, yeah. He's like, yeah, possums can carry this. It's called EMP. If his body goes through shock, he can't, he could have this neurological flare-up, basically, where his nerves just stop working for his spinal cord. That's essentially what was happening. That's why he couldn't walk. That's why he couldn't hardly keep his head up. The problem became, we got him over at that first initial shock of it. He was doing better and everything was real rough for 3 days. The issue came, though, that summer. Because, we're already told we can't show him anymore, we can't breed him. You cannot stress this horse, he's now a pet. Okay, fine. Understand. We're gonna keep this stud. We're not gonna get rid of him or anything like that. It's literally mom's baby. She was in love with that horse. She'd bred that horse. She wasn't gonna get rid of him. That summer hit, though, and it was the hottest summer that we had experienced in Oklahoma up to that point. It hit 102, and we go out there, and the heat was so bad it had stressed him to the point that he couldn't recover, and we did actually have to have the vet come put him down. He's buried on my parents' property to this day. And I have, to this day, never seen my mom bawl that hard, except for when she lost that stud. It was really close, because we still had that stud's mama. We had his mama and we had his half-sister. And when his mom passed away, she ended up being 31 years old. Turned her out during a warm day in the winter. She found the one patch of ice, slipped and broke her hip. I had to put her down. She just so freaking old at that point. Mom, she cried for that mare because that was her first ever horse. But not as bad as she did that stud. And then I don't know how bad it was, because this happened after I had already left. I had moved away to college and everything. And this is as we were moving to come here to Germany, or the year before we moved to Germany, actually. Mom lost that stud sister, that half sister. She was 26. And the whole point that had happened with her was, for some odd reason, his sister, that mare, she was a big old sorrel. But we called her Moose Mare. That was just an affectionate nickname for her. Her barn name was Cece. But we called her Moose Mare. That's rough for both. It was. Mom's had times of it. The mare that was her first ever horse passed when I was about, 19? 19. She passed when I was 19. So it was 12 years after she had lost the stud. And then not much longer after, about another 9 years after, that's when we lost the sister a couple years ago. But we called her Moose Mare because this mare was so naturally muscular. There was not a day in this mare's life when she was fully grown that she didn't weigh 1,800 pounds of just sheer muscle mass. And all we did was feed her grass and freaking hay during the winter. Like, she wasn't broke to ride, she was a pet. She was a pet because her conformation, while she was so thick-boned and everything, she just didn't look right. She looked like she was part draft horse because she was so bloody muscular. And we didn't expect her to do well in a show ring, so we're like, yeah, she's a pet. Yeah, she basically was we called her our babysitter. So anytime we had a bunch of baby horses, you'd turn her out with that mare whenever they got weaned, and she'd babysit them. She was our babysit mare. It was great. But she'd always had feet issues because she was so massive. Like, and we didn't feed her to keep her big. If you guys are in Oklahoma, I hope you guys were safe during the supercells. They were. My parents were safe for that, luckily. They were, Central is where my parents were at. I'm currently in Germany for the next, 2 years because of my husband's job. But they were safe. They were to the east of where all that happened, thankfully. The storms had passed over them before they started producing tornadoes. We've only had 2 close calls with tornadoes, and all the times my parents have been, all the time my parent has been out there. Because they've been in that house now, specifically 25 or 26 years. Game, why are we acting like I'm concussed? Oh, that's awful to see. Ugh, stop it. I think the camera broke there. But no, luckily, we've had a couple of close calls, but nothing really severe out there. My dad had a closer call at one of his other jobs, because he's always had full-time jobs and everything. One of his actual jobs he had, he was in the Norman Moore line when that tornado went through in 2012, 2010. That was the closest call we've had with family and tornadoes. But, I mean, we've been dealing with them for so long, it's just kind of one of those things. Okay, I thought that was me. No, that was the game being weird. I was like, this hurts my eyes to look at. We're just running. I think you guys get red eyes when you're shiny. I know it's the eyes that change color. I was also surprised that this outbreak hasn't broken. But yeah, no, we've had a lot of rough loss before and everything, and then we've got some amazing mares at the same time. Because funny enough, I still have a gelding that I technically own, and he lives on my parents' property. And it's so funny, because he's technically my dream horse. He's out of, my favorite stud and my favorite mare that we've ever had the pleasure of raising/training. And I'm so mad that he's a gelding. But the issue was I won him in an essay contest going into my senior year of high school, because we had a local, it was called the Foundation Quarter Horse Registry, which was a local style of AQHA, essentially, for foundation bred quarter horses, which is what we call them for, if they're bred for cow work. And I had won in my youth group the contest for it. There we go. Now they've dispersed. And so because I won the essay contest, I got to pick a foal out of the cream of the crop, well, out of however many foals have been donated. And I think that year was 20 foals have been donated. And I was like, oh. And the funny thing was we weren't allowed to know, sire and dam until after we'd picked. So you just had to pick the foals on site. So I was like, okay. So I saw this little tiny baby buckskin colt, and I was like, I want that one. I was like, I want that one. He looks so much like the daddy. I didn't know it was the daddy at the time, but he looks so much like baby Skeeter. I want him. And they're like, all right. And then when I got his paperwork, I figured out, I finally saw who was siring his dam war. I was like, oh my God, it's literally my dream colt. But because I wasn't 18, because this is the kicker, for winning the contest, you have to show the horse for the first, as a weanling, as a yearling, and as a 2-year-old. You have to show them to keep them, type of thing. Otherwise, you have to pay the difference, which I did show him. I have those. I'm not doing that hunt. This one sucks so bad. But I did show him. The issue was that I wasn't 18, and because I wasn't 18, he had to be gelded, because per state of Oklahoma law, for safety reasons, no one under the age of 18 is allowed to show a stallion, regardless of age. So I had to geld him, which sucks so bad. Because to this day, it's hilarious. My mom cusses me out one side and the other, good-hearted cussing, because She can't catch this gelding to save her life. He will not come near her. Because he's the person, like, she's always the person who's ended up having to worm him, because I've always been, like, in college and stuff. I kid you not. She gets so mad because I can go out there in the pasture, call him, and he runs up to me and just sits there and lets me put the halter on him. Hasn't loaded up in months. I can lead him towards a trailer. He gets in, no problem. She's like, your colt favors you. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm the one who actually trained him to do everything. He's also the only horse that's ever actually, like... He's the only horse who's ever injured me and looked guilty about it immediately afterwards. Because I was showing him an in-hand trail as a yearling. Yeah, he's a baby. He still spooks real easy. And that's what in-hand trail is. You're leading them through an obstacle course. For people who don't know horse stuff. So they set up, like, railroad ties that you have to step over, or they make a box and, like, you gotta back them into the box and then make them, like, turn in a circle type of thing, just to show that you're teaching them cues on the ground. That's the whole kind of idea of this. You show that they load into a trailer fine, all that. Well, in the box that they made the railroad... Oh, crap, sorry, I don't mean to hit the mic. In the box that they, made out of railroad ties that year, they had decided, or that show, they had decided to put a bunch of dead leaves. Now, normally it's either a tarp or something similar to that. Hi, Archer. And normally it's not bad. I had been practicing with the tarp because the tarp has always been a favorite for them because, like, we don't know the exact obstacles that we're going to have until, like, the morning of the show. Just, you know, you got to make them well-rounded type of thing. So we'd practice with a tarp. We'd practice with railroad ties. We'd practice with that together. The issue was that this show, they decided not to do a tarp. They decided to do actual leaves. And it wasn't like a little dusting of dried leaves. No, this was like 2, 3 50-gallon trash bags full of dead dried leaves from the previous year. Because this is in the summertime when the show was happening. And Mr. was doing great up until his foot sank into those leaves past his ankle, like his hock. So the equivalent of an ankle on a horse. He's behind me because I'm trotting him up to this. So he's like just behind my shoulder. And the lead rope goes taut. I'm like, oh no, he's scared. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna turn, comfort him. I just need him to step into the box. That's all I need him to do. I just gotta have him step and stop in the box. I've already lost a little bit of point deduction because he didn't fully trot into it, but, you know, continue on. I don't think this is a shiny. I just know that this is the one that attacked me. But as I turn to comfort my horse to get him to step into the box the rest of the way so we can finish the pattern and just kind of move on, just take our point deduction, he decides he's going to jump both me and the box. I say box, it's a square on the ground made out of railroad ties. He's going to jump this whole obstacle because he's not about his feet being covered like that. He's a yearling. I hadn't gotten to that part. I had gotten him to hand me his feet so I could hold and have them, you know, trimmed and mess with, obviously. But anything walking covering his feet? No. We ain't gotten that far. He's a baby still. I didn't want to do that much to him. Yeah, he decided to jump. His knee hit my cheek. I spun around, fell to the ground, and was immediately, like, my teeth had cut the inside of my cheek and everything, so obviously, you know... You got that going on. The issue was that my husband, who was my boyfriend at the time, vaulted the fence and immediately had me, like, was at my side by the time I hit the ground. I'm expecting my horse, because per his normal thing, when he freaks out, he usually runs around and is freaking out, like, oh my god, the monster's got me. You know, horse spooks, runs. Nope, he has frozen. He's across, just out of reach for me, front feet splayed wide, head down low, looking at me like, what did I just do to mom? I was so mad. Not at him, not at the horse. I was mad at the people who had designed that course, because even the 3-year-olds under saddle were freaking out about that obstacle. He did his best. That obstacle DQ'd like 70% of the contestants between yearling, 2-year-old, and 3-year-olds for the horses. Mind you, those are all different classes. No. So it hurt. But this is the only time I've been hurt by a horse that looked like they felt guilty about it. There we go. And it's so funny because I got up, I walked out of the arena, my partner was leading my horse, and we went back over by the stalls. And my partner's like, do you want me to put him in his stall? I'm like, no, he can sit in the alleyway with me in the chair because he didn't do anything wrong. He's a baby. He freaked out. Wow. Yeah, it happens. So, a lot of people are walking through the area because it's the main barn, and they're kind of side-eyeing me and side-eyeing the horse, because obviously I look like I've got a shiner on. My whole right side of my face is completely swollen. My eyes literally swelling shut actively because I just took a knee. When one obstacle DQs 3/4 of the horses, oh yeah, no, they issued an apology after that show because it was the last day of the show about that obstacle, and they're like, we're never going to do that again, because people were mad because they were getting DQ'd, so they didn't get any points for it either, because a lot of the classes, even if you don't place, you still get points for the year end. And for the 3-year-olds, we had it a futurity where, it's a big money pot that they have to be at every show. They have to show so many classes of different types and everything. But because they were getting DQ'd, it didn't count. So they were all losing out on their futurity stakes, which means they lose the futurity status that they have. Because most futurities start when the horses are 3 and they go until they're 5 or 6, depending on the organization. But they have to complete the futurity rounds as a 3-year-old in order to qualify as a 4-year-old, as a 5-year-old, so on and so forth. So people were pissed, rightfully so. Like, we don't know who thought that was a good idea, because normally they have dead leaves, but it's like a trail or like a scattering of them, so they crunch under the horse's feet. It's not burying the horse's feet in the freaking dead leaf litter type of thing. It was a weird time. But no, we sat there and everyone's kind of eyeing this horse like he's crazy. No, it's not the horse. It's never the horse. He was a baby. He got scared and he went, oh no, I don't like this. Valid. We hadn't worked with a whole lot of dead leaves. We'd worked with some. He grew up with some, but not to that extent. I didn't have access to the woods near us. I couldn't just go, hiking through the woods and leading him through all the leaf litter and everything. I wasn't about to do that either because we had a pond nearby, and that's a great way to step on a water moccasin or cottonmouth or dealing with a copperhead. Like, there's so many venomous snakes that were in my area. There was no point in risking it. But anywho, we just sat there. We chilled. Everyone's sitting there eyeing my horse like he's crazy. And I'm like, nope. And you know what? You want to know what my horse did? My 1-year-old horse at the time did? He stood there, completely quiet, and just put his head in my lap and went to sleep. I didn't even have to hold him. Didn't have to hold his lead rope or anything. He didn't have a care in the world at that point. The funniest thing was the following weekend, we had to go to Nebraska for the World Show. I showed him in the same class with my face tore up and swollen and all bruised. He did really well, except for the fact that he refused to sidestep. And it's so funny because he knows how to sidestep. He just hates doing it. He hates it so much. But yeah, that's the story of the one time a horse has hurt me and looked so sorry about it. Did you have any horses that went to Congress? We had one that we bred, but we did not train or show that has been to Congress, and that was about 15 years ago. We had sold that one as a weanling, so about 6-7 months old. No, it was an 8-month-old when we sold it, and that one ended up going to Congress. We've had a lot of futurity winners. We've had a lot of World Show winners, but we don't normally go to Congress a whole lot, but that's because we don't usually do Western pleasure. We don't do the pleasure part of it. We do the actual, cattle work. We wanted to go to Congress, but most of the time we just didn't have funds to go, or we had different prospects going on. Congress almost always conflicted with when our World Show was, so we always went to that because it was almost always closer. It's a lot when you're taking 20 heads of horses between 2 trucks and 2 trailers anywhere, because that was our standard MO for most shows. God, there was so many horses. Because you got to get them in there the day early. You got to have all the coggins done. You got to check them, like, just to show horses. And I mean, mind you, it's been a good 10 years since I've shown a horse. It costs on average close to $200 just in like entry fees. And then usually there's an extra charge for cattle because we're renting cattle. So you have the cattle fee, you have the stall fee, you have entry fee, you have to have the blood work from the vet done, and that costs money. You have to pay to haul, you have food. Like, horses are expensive. Don't get me wrong. I love my horse, but horses are expensive. I'm just asking questions since your family does. Yeah, no, that's completely fine. I don't mind talking about it and everything. Believe me. A lot of times, because my mom was the trainer too, and we were traveling to a person's property to train a lot of their horses, the owners are the ones who decide where their horses are going to be shown. And they did not like Congress so much. They liked the world shows better. Okay, it dispersed. I was like, what happened? I don't think there was anything besides the Aracuda on that one. Yeah, it's all Shinx, which I've got the Shinx line. Okay, so if I'm correct, that means that we are going to switch games. Yeah, because we've got Reveroom. I've gotten all the stuff from Golden Week, so I don't need any of those. And I'm not dealing with the Physian outbreak, because these outbreaks, I am cursed for the fact that they almost always glitch out, and not in a good way. And I already have Shiny Seviper, so... Alright. Let me get on dry land, save, and then we'll switch to Pokemon Sword. Which I don't know if we're going to do DAs today or not. We might do some Dynamax adventures. But no, I enjoyed the horse stuff. I think the thing that like burned me out on horses was the fact that we were either showing or at a sale every single weekend. Like that was what we did every single weekend. We were either at a show or a horse sale. All right, so let's close that. And then I need this. And I gotta take my head out, set it off for just a second. I have 2 shiny Palafins? Ooh, nice. I still need to get both. I just, like I said, they're cursed. You and Sword. I smack stuff. Nope. Oh, there went my controller.
Yep. Hi, Nova.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. Sorry about that. Bip. I tried to pick up the controller and I dropped it. What? Now, one of the big things that we did show-wise for the longest time was team sorting. So you have 2 round pens that are connected in the middle through like a single panel, so about a 10 to 12 foot gate, depending on how the panels are set up. And you have on one side cows numbered 0 through 9. So essentially, 1 through 10. There's 12 cows, and you have 0 through 9 that are numbered, and then you have some that aren't numbered. And the whole point with that, I don't think I have any eggs ready. So we're probably gonna have to build up. Yeah, we're gonna have to build up some eggs. Yeah. These are the only Poplios I've hatched so far. So we're on 30. But we'll spend a good 30, 45 minutes getting eggs, and then we'll do random encounters while we're hatching eggs. But we did a lot of team sorting. That was a big thing for us, was cutting and team sorting. And so what it was is they would randomly draw out a number when you crossed that line. So from one round pen to the other type of thing. And so like if they called out number 5, you'd have to get the cow with 5 and then 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 in order as fast as you could. You had 90 seconds in a round. And if any of the cows who didn't have a number on, you got a DQ run, so you got disqualified for the run. And you could have, I think, up to 3 runs for most shows, per se. So the reason it was called team sorting was you had one person who would go in on their horse, and they would sort through the cattle, basically, try to get the numbers. And you had one person in that little 10 to 12 foot long gap, what we called the gate. And that person's job was to make sure only the right cow got through. So it's a little bit of cutting, but it's also showing that you could like single out a cow basically and work the cow that you needed to work per se. Whereas with cutting, it's this nice big arena. You can use about half the arena, and they've got that big little herd of cow, and you get to pick out your cow and work the cow, basically. This was showing that you were told a specific cow and could sort it out, and the horse could keep control enough to understand that it only needed to let one cow through. Now, some teams, they would do it where as one person is pushing, like the cow number 4, if that's what they had needed through, the person who was at the gate would leave the gate and go get the next cow. Because again, it's a timed event. You had 90 seconds to do it as fast as you could. So we had a lot. You'd see people do that a lot, and then some people, it was, well, I don't want, like, they didn't need the team sorting points, so they would just work gate while the other person did all the sorting. So it was an interesting event, but it was one that we focused on a lot. We've had a couple of what we call all-around horses, so they've been shown in anything and everything under the Western discipline. So they did Western pleasure, they did halter, they did team sorting, they did cutting, they did reining, some speed event, barrels, keyhole, whatever have you. They did at least one speed event, and we called those all arounds. And for FQHAR, if I remember correctly, I can't remember the Foundation Quarter Horse Registry. So it's FQHR was the little local one that we used to do in Oklahoma for the longest time. I think they show in Corn, Oklahoma now. It used to be in Shawnee. But that one, the Foundation Quarter Horse Registry, that one, they're all arounder. You had to show 3 out of 4 shows, because there's 4 shows a year, and for your horse to count, and they had to show in halter, reining, some pleasure class, a speed event, cutting, God, what else? There's 2 more. You had to do a walk trot of some capacity. So we had different levels of rider for walk trot. So like if you had walk trot youth, you would do that. You would have walk trot novice, you would have walk trot amateur, and then you would have walk trot open. So open, like anyone, any age rider could be in that one. Youth, you had to be under the age of 18. Novice, you had to have only been riding for 2 to 3 years. Amateur was anything over 3 years. We didn't have a master's because we weren't that big of a foundation or group at the time. At the time, there was like maybe 200 of us between all the classes. Like not in a single class, but I mean like 200 people at the show period type of thing showing. It was a very small group. I think it still is small to this day. Was that thunder, or did someone just launch themselves off the freaking speed bump? Lord only knows. But the stud that my mom started with for her main client that she had as a client for about 13 years, they went ahead, and he was an all-around horse. His registered name was R.C. Skeets Gunsmoke. We called him Skeeter. He has since passed, sadly. What? Oh, I'm an idiot. That's why. So Skeeter was the one that we had started with. We had bought him as a weanling? Yeah, weanling. And that was the one that we had raised for these guys and everything. So we had him, and he was an all-around. They had another one. I can't remember what... That is Thunder. I can't remember the other colt's registered name. I just know we called him Pepto because he was out of a Pepto Boone's Mall. Yes, I know. Registered horse names are weird, but literally it was Pepto Boone's Mall. I believe Pepto Boone's Mall himself has since passed. I know Pepto, the barn horse I'm talking about, has passed. But Pepto was a really good all-around. He was the black one that I was talking about earlier. And the issue with him, though, was he had been sent to a different trainer because my mom wasn't willing to push him when he was so young and his growth plates were still so open. Like I said, this was the late bloomer. We knew he had growing to do. So the owner made a decision to send him to a different trainer. Okay, fine. It happens. Like, that's not unheard of, especially in the horse world. Like, KD, they do some training at their place, but, you know, they've got VS Code Red and stuff down in Texas right now at a different trainer. So different trainers specialize in different areas. It's not uncommon for people, especially if you've got medium to larger operations where you're sending horses to different trainers for different disciplines. But we're like, okay, cool. You know, it happens. We were a little bit bummed by it because we were excited to see what the colt could do, but we wanted to give him more time to grow. Well, sadly, he was pushed too hard too fast and they damaged his hocks permanently. So he was still able to show. The issue was that during the downtime you had to take care of him, otherwise he suffered from it. And that had us a little bit sad because he didn't deserve to like have that condition, but that's what happens if you push a horse that's too young too fast. Ooh, Applin. These are Papilio eggs, like I said. We're gonna get some of them up and then we'll just do random encounters. We'll probably just ride through the map and see what all we come across, because I don't have anything specific that I'm hunting today. And if we get bored of that, we can go do DAs. Because I know I only have patience for DAs for about 2 hours. Yeah, but I don't know. You don't miss the horse show. Like, I miss the horses sometimes, but at the same time, I don't miss the hullabaloo that was horse showing. Now, mind you, I grew up with horses. I can ride horses. I hate riding, though. I refused to ride horses as a kid for like the longest time, and I still do to this day. Just out of my own personal preference. I will work with them all day long on the ground. I don't like being on the back of a horse. Just never have, even as a kid. Was not a fan. Oof. Applin got away. The Granny Smith has ran. But understand that. Yeah. And that was the thing. When I was helping my mom with the training and everything, at one point, like I said, there was 120 horses on this one property that this one client had. And we were basically responsible for all 120 horses. I miss riding. I understand that. Riding can be fun. I was just never a fan of it, per se. But my mom would do all of the riding at one point, where my job was I was cleaning stalls and I was feeding and watering, but also I had to take every horse under the age of 2 outside. And I had to work them in the round pen. And then if they were over a year old, I had to work them an in-hand trail. So teaching them the obstacle course and desensitizing them to everything and going, look, it's not a big scary monster. It's not going to eat you. I don't need you levitating 15 feet in the air and then jumping sideways. That was my job, was desensitization for all the horses. And at one point, that operation was massive. Like 120 head of horses is an insane number of horses. All right, that is a large operation. Medium is considered 20. Okay, to put in perspective for you, 5 is considered a lot for some people. So yeah, I've been there, I've done that all. So at one point, we were averaging, 6, 7, 8 babies a year. That's a lot of thunder. And don't get me wrong, I love it when they're the babies, because they're all the cutest little things, but they're also stinkers. Because the fun fact about horses, if you can get a halter on them when they're a baby, do it soon. Teach them that the halter is not scary, and that you putting the halter and taking it off of them is not scary, and that the lead rope is not scary. Because babies, horses, they lean real hard into that flight response. They can be fun. They can also be really, really dumb. I've seen some of the world's brokest horse that I'd feel safe putting a 3-year-old learning how to ride on, like a 3-year-old child on. I've seen horses that broke and then just one day decide, my shadow, it's scary, and then proceed to levitate. I'm just like, why are you like this? I love you guys, but why are you like this? It's so funny too, because I had classmates and stuff growing up, and some of my classmates, they grew up in town. They weren't part of that agricultural community per se. They weren't used to it. They had cats and they had dogs, and that was about it. And anytime they came over, like, put it into perspective for you. If my best friend came over She was expected to help me with the horses because she had cattle, she had horses, she grew up with the agricultural side of things. Now, when my friends who lived in town came over, my mother would still expect them to help with horses. One of my friends that I'm still I went to elementary school with her. I'm still friends with her to this day. She's terrified of horses. And I don't blame her. Horses can be scary. They're very large, and again, they get scared easy. So she would follow me out there because she didn't want to sit inside my house, obviously, but I still had to do my chores. Someone's got to feed the animals. So she would follow me outside, and it would be so funny because she'd look at me and she'd go, "Is that one mean?" I'm like, "No." "Is that one mean?" "Well, that one we just got in. I wouldn't trust that one just yet. We're still learning that horse." Because anytime you get a new horse, you have to learn it. You have to understand its quirks. You have to understand what that horse is scared of and what cues that horse has. Even on the ground. This is stuff you have to learn. Both for your safety and the horse's safety. Because while some cues are theoretically universal, depending on discipline, may not be. Case in point, we normally train quarter horses. Occasionally we got a horse of a different breed to train. Either someone needed halter training, or they wanted saddle training or time under saddle type of thing, like light braking, breaking them to ride type of thing. And the funniest thing is, we've had drafts, we've had Belgian, we've had a couple Percherons, we had a half Percheron, and then we had a Pasifino. Now, Pasifinos are a very weird breed of horse to me, or at least this one was. Because most horses, the way we train them, if you put a little bit of pressure on what we call their flank, so like if you can picture someone sitting on top of a horse, right about where your legs sit on the heels, that's called the flank. And that's where you put pressure usually to give them cues. So like if you want them to sidestep or anything like that. This Pasifino, if you put pressure on his flank with your hand, it was gelding, he was a sweet boy. He didn't sidestep. And he didn't turn or pivot either, because that was like the other issue. Like sometimes that's what they would do. You know what he would do? He would bow, because he was trained as a trick pony. And no one knew this, because no one had told. Like, we don't know which of his owners. He'd had a long history of owners type of thing. We don't know who trained him as a trick pony, but somebody did. So he would bow, he would stretch out his front leg and dip his head down, and he would bow. We have no idea why that was the cue for bowing, but it was. It made riding him very interesting, because he was never bucking. He would just randomly bow. It's like, why is this a thing? So we figured out why they were having such issues with him. It's because he had some really weird cues. We had him in training for 6 months, and that was just so we could figure out what all his cues were. It was so funny. We're like, why? Why are you like this? Who taught you to do this? We knew trick riders and stuff, but that's not a normal cue. And it was so funny too, because that horse, he refused to gallop. He did not believe in a gallop. He did not believe in a canter. But his trot was like the smoothest trot of I am speed. It's like, why? Oh my god, it was so funny. I will admit though, when it comes to like going back to Katie Van Sky and stuff, I say she's a little bit special crazy because she's got those minis. Shetland ponies and miniature horses in general scare the crap out of me because they are all attitude. And the reason they scared the crap out of me is because everyone I knew, most of them don't have them still. They only have the larger horses now, but most of the people I knew who had minis or raised minis for any point of time, they wouldn't mess with them enough. So like her current videos right now is Squirt. The fact that she's having to train him in a halter already and everything. You have to do that. Like you have to desensitize mini horses from day one. Otherwise they are the craziest, wildest little things ever, and they are all attitude. I've been bucked off of horses twice in my life. Both of them were Shetlands. And now have I had big horses take off with me and I've accidentally dropped reins? Yes. That's my fault for dropping the reins though. That's on me as the rider. Mainly because I was little. Like, when I say I dropped reins, I'm saying like I'm under the age of 10, and this is like when I didn't even really clear 3 feet tall. So when I was riding a horse, I could not touch their flanks. I could not put enough pressure with my knees to squeeze for a stop or anything like that. I could not give anything but hand cues. So me losing the reins was a very bad thing because I could no longer give hand cues. This was always in a controlled setting, though. Like, not taking off across the field or anything like that. Like, this was, like, me in a round pen or something, and I asked for a little bit of a trot, and I got a little bit more speed than I bargained for, and I got scared and dropped the reins, because, again, child instinct kicks in, and you grab saddle horn, because Western riding, and... No, newsflash, folks, the saddle horn is not for you to hold on to. I also love it because we ended up with, we had at one point 3 retired trail horses. Like, they were just older horses that we had, like, taken in essentially, and they were just going to live out their days in our, like, pastures. Because, you know, trail horses are amazing simply for the fact that as you're teaching young ones how to act under saddle and everything, you can kind of introduce the idea of ponying them. So when we say retired trail horses, no one rode them anymore, but you could throw a saddle on their back and pony, like, pony tie a young colt to them, per se, and they'd just be like, all right, this is what you do, kid, basically. Always supervised, always monitored. Like, you don't just tie them together and walk away. You don't do that dumb shit. It's always in a controlled environment. And it's a great way to introduce younger horses to the idea of a saddle and to the idea of weight. Because usually we'd have sandbags. Okay. I will reply to that one later. But... man alive. We had those 3, and it was so funny because, like, a lot of people don't like old, like, actual business trail horses. Like, they go ride the same trails over and over again because they get what we call barn sour, either barn or buddy sour. So barn sour in horses means I know what my job is, and I know the faster I get my job done, the faster I get to go back to my hay or my stall. That's what we call barn sour. Like, their whole thing is they want to either bully you into saying, all right, we're done for the day, and putting them back in the stall, or if it's a trail, ride the trail as fast as possible to get put back in their stall. They want to go back to creature comforts and not be working. Buddy sour is you have 2 horses that are bonded together, essentially. They're buddies, and one has to go do their job, the other one has to stay in the pasture or in the barn, whatever, and they get very upset because they can't see each other. That's what we call buddy sour. Now, both of these can be very dangerous because this can lead to horses acting erratically. And again, most horses are 1,000 pounds, if not a little bit more, 1,000 to 1,200, unless it's a Percheron or a draft breed, and then you're looking at almost 2,000 pounds. Anywhere from 1,600, I think, for the lightest draft to 2,200 for the bigger drafts, something like that. There's lots of different breeds of horses, but the issue becomes is, okay, how do we deal with this? Those retired trail horses, though, man, once they learned that their whole job was basically teaching the babies how to, like, work under saddle, it was amazing. They're just like, oh, okay. Also, my parents don't have a lot of property. They have all of 10 acres. So buddy sour was thankfully never really an issue because they were never far enough to freak out about it. But barn sour was definitely a thing at one point for some of those horses that we would take in when they were older. And that was just because, man, they're like, look, I've done my job. And it's like, yeah, we have an easier job for you to do. And they're like, I really don't want to do the job, though. So, it be how it be. I'm just glad I no longer have to chase cows every time they got out. Because, man, anytime we had cows for, like, that we had released from somebody to raise up so we could train the cutting courses, oh my god. There was always one cow who would find out how to push down a fence.
So, my rowing will be finished tomorrow.
Okay. At least you started it today.
Yes. So, the 4-week one
Mm-hmm.
is in person.
Ooh.
It's like from 20 to 21.
From 8 to 9?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not bad. It sucks, but it's not bad.
It's the pace course, so it's basically, it's a bullshit course.
Uh-huh.
I just owe 2 gen eds.
That's really not bad. So the rest is just, like, your actual degree field?
Yeah.
I got one shiny so far.
So it's funny, she tried to, so it's 8-week courses online.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still thinking about it. It's like, all right, if I do the pace course, that's 4 weeks.
How many eggs are we at?
In
We
person.
need another 8. Mm-hmm.
Because how I originally had it was, I do 2 of the 8 week from the 15th to like the 9th.
Mm-hmm.
Then on June 16th, I start our the other Gen Med course. So it's like a week over, not a week, a month overlap.
Mm-hmm.
Where I was like, started thinking about, I was like, or I can just do the 4 week one in person.
Mhm.
It's like twice a week, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And pick up another course in June. So run 2 in June.
Okay.
2 on the 15th and 2 in June. Because one will end, I have one for
Mhm.
a little bit. Then pick up 2. I don't know, that seems feasible.
I mean, it just depends with like the work schedule you have and everything too.
Yeah.
'Cause I
She
don't-
was saying, like, once it hits fall, that's when everything synchronizes.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's like, you can do 2 and 2. Because they're 8 weeks, so you do 2. And once those are done, it just rolls into another 2.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't be bad at all.
No. Because this summer is kind of like a weird
Summer's always a weird one.
offset
Mm-hmm.
by like 4 weeks. Like, I have done 4 in the summer before, but I was a full-time student, so
Yeah, you were only focused on coursework, and now you've got your full-time Uncle Sam job.
so it's going to be taking me a little bit longer to get my master's, but as long when I put my packet in, I'm showing, because it will have like my, of course, transcript,
Yeah.
and it will show like how far I'm along and what's left.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fine. So it's gonna be longer than 5 months, I still think.
Eh.
So
Is it like storming outside, or is it just thunder so far?
it's off and on.
Off and on? Okay.
It was hailing. I was in the office.
Okay. What's the temperature outside right now?
Probably fucking dropped. It was. I don't
Say
know,
if it's-
that weird like odd mugginess.
Oh, so probably need to keep the AC going for a little bit longer then.
And
That's fine. I did cut up the meat for dinner and it is marinating, but I have not washed rice yet.
okay, it's 68 right now. Feels like 68.
You can probably kill the downstairs one at least. Just crack windows.
Yeah. But yeah, I was thinking about. It's like I could do the 4 week one.
Mm-hmm.
So do 2 right now. One is 4 weeks. Then roll to like pick up 2 more.
Yeah.
Because what she's had me doing is basically going down
Is
the line
this the last one that I need?
in order.
Let's see. Do. Okay.
So if I do 3 this summer, it puts me at 9.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That was one too many. That's fine. Back over here, and then
1.
do. No. Eggies. All right. So now we'll hatch eggs, and you'll be done.
I'll be done in almost first quarter spring.
That wouldn't be bad.
Because I do 9 now,
Mm-hmm.
and the fall would be 12. So that's 21. Then
So don't
I
need
just need another
stuffle.
9.
Let's see. What do we want to encounter today?
What?
You know, I don't have any of them on Sweet Line. We can start this. I have no idea what they look like though. Oh. Just hear the cat squeaking at him.
So, gotta be done in spring.
And that's not bad. Because, I mean, you're essentially starting in the summer and in just under a year. Hi, Zelda. Woo doo doo. Ah, not Iron Tail. What's wrong with me? Eh, we still got a KO. Do 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 do. Which obviously I got the XLR version of the mic working now. Do do. It's really good. It's a little bit weird because now I get to actually like hear myself real time, and it throws me off a little bit. I can also like I can do like the voice changer and or the electric thing, but man, they all sound funky. Do 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 do. Don't. Why? What is wrong with you? Why would you hit that button? Damn it! Now I gotta. There we go. Can't trust him with anything, chat. He sees a button and he must hit it. Crazed madman that he is. Flamethrower. Os. Which, as a reminder, there's not a stream tomorrow, but there will be one starting 9 a.m. my time. So if you are in the U.S., it is 7 a.m. U.S. Central Time. No. What is wrong with me? 2 a.m. U.S. Central Time, 9 a.m. my time. And we're going to continue Fallout 3. Which, yes, I will label it as Fallout 3. Did I switch the... I didn't switch the game to... Hang on. This is no longer Scarlet and Violet. This is Sword and Shield, and I forgot to update that. Bad me. You know better. It's been 30 minutes. I forgot to update which game we were playing. I really need to just do a freaking button for this. There we go. Fixed it. The Aquanid is staring me down and I am now scared. Is it sad that I kind of want to do more encounters for the second shiny Mudbray for Mudsdale, but I also know we could get Mudsdale from DAs, and I'm like, do I really want to risk doing that? Because let's face it, as soon as I get the second shiny Mudbray, I'll get the shiny freaking Mudsdale, more than likely off the next DA that has one. I'm like, Bunsweet? Spicy Bunsweet. Yes. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Hello, Boa.
Hello, motherfucker.
Hi, bye. Hi, bye, Boa. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. We'll probably do encounters / eggs for the next hour, and then we'll probably rotate into possibly DAs. I don't know. We can also switch to Legends Arceus. It's been a hot minute, but there's not a lot left in Arceus for us to get shinies out of. The biggest one being Ralts and Riolu. If I could get another Cherubi, that'd be great, but I'm not holding my breath for another shiny Cherubi outbreak. Because those outbreaks are rare. It is now pouring outside. One sec. I'm gonna turn off the AC and use the restroom.
Why did you hit that button?
Stop hitting buttons over here, damn it. Uh-huh. Yay. Okay. I will say one thing. One animal that I've never had to raise, which is really funny because the two most common animals shown with our FFA group where I grew up are pigs and goats. Never had to deal with them. The only time I had to deal with them was when I was like at a friend's house who had pigs and or goats. Now my best friend did raise and show sheep for a long time, so I did have to help her with sheep a lot. As one of the only kids though who actually raised and showed horses. Which is why I existed in a weird part of FFA, because technically for FFA, for my school, we were supposed to show, but I never did, because I just helped everybody else with theirs, because there was no horse shows that were FFA sanctioned in my state. The closest state was Missouri. You come hither. Do 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 do. Yes. I shall burn them all. Burn. Anyway, what? Do 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 do. Any more Bun Sweets? I don't trust the Cramorant. I've been jumped. It's Pikachu. Tis the yellow rat of disappointment. And we flee. Target acquired. I do like how plentiful the Bone Sweets are. I don't know if they're normally this plentiful over here, but I mean, I'll take it. We don't have an official release date yet, do we, for Legends Z through A? I'm ready for the next Legends game. The first one was so much fun. I still want to replay through that story. But I really don't know if I want to deal with that Arceus fight again. That Arceus fight sucked. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Yes. I shall set you all. I like how I can tell that it's going from rain to hail and back again. I'm just glad it means we're cooling off. What are your hopes for Legends Z3? My hopes are very, very low, Marvel. My hope is that we get at least one Generation 2 starter for it. As one of the starters. Preferably Chikorita, but I'll take... Because I know we just had Cyndaquil. So I really hope we get another one, but because we had Cyndaquil, I don't know if we're going to get another one or not. Because it was what? Rowlet, Oshawott, Cyndaquil. So I wouldn't be surprised if... Because obviously we have to exclude Gen 6 if we're in Kalos. So it'd probably be Gen 1, Gen 3, and maybe a Gen 8? Maybe? For the starters. My hopes is I want it to be good. I want it to have a more complete story than Legends Arceus did, because in my mind, Legends Arceus had that open-ended story, because you never got to go back. I hope they make it a bit more colorful and not like the sun is always setting. Yeah. What? No, don't let her chew on that. Hun, that's my spare cable. Leave it alone. Yes, come to me. Bounce towards me. I also hope that we get a lot of the, like, quote-unquote missing Pokemon. Because there's lots of Pokemon in Pokemon Home. Well, there's not a lot. There's like 20 of them now. Where, like, they're mostly Gen 5. Where they're really awkward because you have to move them up from Gen 5 into Home. And there's no way of getting them directly on the Switch itself in the games, per se. I know we have most of them now. So theoretically, if you own every Pokemon game available on the Switch, you can get pretty much the entire, like, existing decks, but I don't know. Why? I really also hope, my hope for them is that they kept the, like, shiny animation sound cue. I really like that shiny animation sound cue. Even if the, like, overworld wasn't shiny, just the sound cue to tell you one is in the area would still be amazing. But that's just because so many of the newer Pokemon have subtle shinies versus, like, blatant obvious ones. So, I don't want to have a lot of expectations or hopes for Legends Z through A simply for the fact that it's Pokemon. And anytime I set my expectations high, Nintendo seems to fall flat anymore. I do want it to be truly open world, though. Like, I don't mind the fact that we have Jubilife Village as, like, a central point. I did not like the fact, though, that we constantly had to go, okay, let me know when you're back. I can't type. When they... That. They're gonna be done by the time I'm done typing this message because I can't type today. I've misspelled it the same way 3 times in a row. What is wrong with me? There we go. You. Yes. Ba, ba, ba. Burn. These guys aren't all female, are they? Is this one of those weird lines where I don't... Again, 5, 6, and 7 are weird for me. Mainly because A, I played them out of order. Back romance. Okay. Like I said, I want my big hope for Legends Z through 8 to be we don't have to go back to the central freaking hub to go to another area. That was my biggest complaint about Legends Arceus, was the fact that you had to leave Jubilife Village, go out to the City of Villains, and then if you wanted to go to the Coastland from there, you had to go back to Jubilife Village and then go to the Coastlands. Just let me go from Mirelands to Coastlands without having to go back through Jubilife Village and I'll be happy. You know? That's my big want for Legends ZA. It doesn't have to be full world. You can have loading screens. That's fine. Just let me not have to go all the way back to the middle central hub.
How much, Rex?
How hungry are you? I would do a scoop and a half of dry rice and wash it then, because then it'll be 3 cups cooked. Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Yes. I think this is probably the best quality of life update they could give us in Legends On. Now, if it is more time travel-y than like it's currently being hinted at, I understand if I have to go to a central point for time travel purposes. I'm fine with that. Just let me explore the map without having to go back to a central point. I don't care if I have to, like, load in. Honestly, that would be nice. Honestly, they may not have you go back to the central hub because apparently the game test takes place entirely within Luminois City. See, that, I feel weird that it's all just in Luminois, supposedly. Like, Kalos is massive. Why? Why just in Luminois? You know, that feels very limiting. Especially with the success that Legends Arceus saw. I don't know, I still think that original trailer that they've released so far is like a concept trailer. It just feels like concept art to me. Like, this is what we're working on, but it doesn't officially reflect the final product, you know? That is my one, like, about it. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Yes. Yes. It's raining in the game. It's raining outside. I'm curious as to how they will do a whole Pokemon catching battling thing if the game is entirely within the city. Yeah, exactly. Like, Luminoid City technically is a big city, but in the grand scheme of things and overall of Kalos, it's not that big. So, I don't know. I'll wait till it comes out and we'll see what we get from there. Depending on what day it drops and everything else and when I can get a hold of it, we might do another 24-hour stream for that one like we did Legends Arceus, but I don't make promises right now. Why? Because my work schedule is crazy. Yes. Burn. My problem is now I'm out of fire type moves. Do I keep knocking you out? I mean, you bounce over towards me. That was a weird noise. I don't know what Pokemon call that was. It's probably a Dewpider, though, thinking about it. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Dewpider that I heard calling. I mean, I guess I could hit you guys with Iron Tail. But Iron Tail doesn't have that best accuracy. Probably just run to the Pokemon Center to quote-unquote heal, because I really don't want to camp and cook curry. I like the camping mechanic. It's cool, but at the same time, I'm just not a fan of, hey, if you want to heal your Pokemon, you either gotta travel 20 minutes now or camp. That has been a slight complaint of mine. And yes, for the record, we do have the 1 in 512 odds on these eggs because Masuda method. Because if I'm doing eggs, it's Masuda method. Do. This hand tracker. One thing I hope they really change is the beginning. I was getting into reading the dialogue of the games, just paying attention to the story, but for Legends Arceus, I had to speed through it because of how long the tutorial was. Yeah. The tutorial was a bit much in Legends Arceus. Let's see, when does... Is it end of 2025 that ZA drops? Or is it start of 2025? Or do we just have 2025? Here, let me queue up the next egg and I'll find out. I think it's just 2025. Yeah, it just says in 2025. Interesting. Very interesting then. So depending on when it drops, depends on if I can play it or not. Hi. There we go. If I remember correctly, you follow the line of most of the water starters in the fact that you just become a paler blue. And gee, all male. No one was surprised by this fact. I'm still doing my soft resets for Shiny Squirtle, by the way. Once the GameCube's fixed, that is something we can do on stream as well, is just do soft resets in Leaf Green for Shiny Squirtle. Why? Because torture. Then the problem is I have to play through Leaf Green and finish my Platinum playthrough and play through... Well, if I do Platinum, I don't think I have to do 5. No, I do, because of Pokebank stuff. Damn it. Theoretically, is because I know they just shut down all the 3DS online support, but the Pokebank stuff still works. Pokebank and Poketransport, as long as you had them pre-downloaded, which I do. So I can technically move a shiny Pokemon all the way up from freaking the original Gen 1, Gen 2 cartridges all the way up. Because yes, technically, even though you don't know if it's shiny or not in Gen 1, it can be shiny depending upon your trainer ID number and the Pokemon's IV stats. It's weird. Because when you move it up into Gen 2, it ends up being shiny. I will admit, whenever they turn that support off and you can no longer get a Pokemon from Gen 1, like OG Gen 1, Gen 2, all the way up, it makes me very sad. Yeah, Zapdos, I know you exist over here, buddy. I don't want to deal with you, though. Honestly, just hope I'm able to pre-order it. Stuff keeps happening whenever I'm super excited for something. I feel that. That's what I mean by I may have to wait to play it type of thing, because sadly that's gonna, depending on if it's towards the end of the year or not, we'll probably be in the process of moving again. Because, yeah. If it's the start of 2025, we should be good. If it's not the start of 2025, however. Why? That arm is not there. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Hand tracker, I will just turn you around so you can't track anything. Stop it. Ugh. Yeah, second DLC, Galarian Zapdos. It's just every time you come in the wild area, you hear its cry, and I'm just like, oh, right, you're still roaming around free in this game. I wonder if you guys, if Popplio is going to be as cursed as freaking Grookey was. It took forever to get the first shiny Grookey from eggs. And yes, I know I can shiny hunt the starters in Scarlet and Violet. I'm just not a fan of shiny hunting in Scarlet and Violet. Also, getting a starter outbreak is a pain in the butt. Like, that first week I did the resets for it, and I was like, oh god, no thank you. It continues to pour rain outside the window. Tiptoe through the window. Yes. I always forget about that ledge. Hi, Halucha. I will eventually have to shiny hunt you too. Emphasis on eventually. All the hippopotas. It's so cute just seeing their little eyes pop over the grass. Okay, so if we go over here. The babies. Where are the bouncing babies? Yes. Come towards me out of curiosity. I'm totally not going to smack you. Okay, for right now, we're just gonna... No tracking my hand, since you don't want to actually track my hand. Heat wave, go! This Ponyta is literally one of 2 Pokemon I have with the right ability to reduce the egg catch distance. Or is it 3? No, it's 3 now, because I have that... Colossal now that has Steam Engine. So it's a Ponyta, it's a Volcarona, and it's a Colossal. Yes. Shiny egg hunting is really annoying in Scarlet and Violet. The player just has to sit for a picnic or an hour or so to get enough eggs and do it again. If they don't get it in that batch, yeah. Well, that's the thing, like, because they have, if you have the DLCs, like, especially the second DLC, you can access all the starters that way, and you don't have to do it via eggs. There's actual outbreaks for it. I'm just not a fan of how it works, because getting those outbreaks is a pain in the butt. So I'm not super, like, I'm just not a fan of it. I'd rather get the starters either via eggs in a different game, like this one, or by soft resetting. Because that's what I've been doing in Soul Silver and Leaf Green, is I've been soft resetting. All right then, Thor, calm down. Jesus Christ. But, the only issue with my soft reset in Silver, yeah, it's Silver that I'm soft resetting, is I have all the Cyndaquil line because of Legends Arceus. So, my issue, 1 year, 6 months, 26 days, and 12 hours. Nice. My issue becomes that if I get the shiny Cyndaquil, I'm kind of boned. Because I need shiny Chikorita. I need 2 shiny Chikoritas, and I need 2 more Totodiles. Because I have a shiny Feraligatr and a shiny Meganium, but I don't have the babies or the middles. Why do I keep going towards the exclamation point? That's not what we're hunting. Although if you were gold, that would help immensely, because you're one of the few that I don't have from Arceus. I do need to continue shiny hunting in Arceus, mainly for the Burmese and Vespiquen, because I have a shiny Combee. It's just obviously male. So I need a shiny Vespiquen explicitly. But you guys know how long it took me to get shiny Mothim. Oh god, so many fucking Mothim checks. We finally got it. I was hunting Rowlet and Shield a few years ago, never got it. I still have eggs left from it. My Pokemon home just has an army of Rowlets. I plan to eventually try to continue shiny hunting it. Rowlet's fun. I like Rowlet. But again, that's one because of Arceus. I have that one now. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. It's like, I like Arceus. I like that it's easy to get shinies in Arceus, but at the same time, it's so easy. You feel very mad. Like, you almost get upset if you don't have a shiny within, like, an hour. Dang, Marl's been here over a year, too. It doesn't feel like that long to me. It really doesn't. Like, I know at the start of stream I was talking about what I was going to do for the 3-year affiliate anniversary, 4-year anniversary of the channel, because it's both at the same time, and I'm like, God, that feels weird to say. Which I have a loose date of when that starts, and it's probably going to be like 3 days of me just consistently streaming a shit ton. I don't know what all we're going to do for it, though. I do know I'm going to take probably 2 extra days off of work, though. Shellos, buddy, no. You don't know how many of you I've seen shiny in both your forms. Just walk away. It's fine. Live another day. Just let me have my bone sweets. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. I really want there to be really good music in Legends Z through A. I really do. Pokemon usually has some good music, but like I just want some really good music. Like the fact that with Volo's fight you had the theme of like Cynthia's fight going on in the background. Oh my god, that was amazing. Ponytail, why are you punching yourself? You know better. Le fight. Le flamethrower. Rah. There we go. When in doubt, fire. Or I guess a different fire? A different fire. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Sword and Shield is a much better game than people say it was. I wish people appreciate it more. Sword and Shield grew on me. I was a little off put with it in the beginning, and I will admit that, but it has definitely grown on me. I will say I prefer the raids, the max raids, over the frickin' terror raid crap that we deal with. That stuff still isn't fixed in my opinion. There's a reason I don't do the raid events. Do-do-do-do-do. The Dynamax Adventures layer, like the Max Layer thing, was like the best thing they ever did. I know, and I say this because I'm going to point out right now, I have never played through Ultra Sun or Ultra Moon, so I never got to do the wormhole hunts. All right, I have the games, I have not played through them yet. I am waiting for the modified 3DS with the capture card to come in, so we can do that stuff on stream. No, I have no idea how much longer that's going to be on that wait list. Damn it, Cramorant. Weird Pikachu eating thing. Let me leave. Thank you. Yes. You guys are so cute. But my eventual plan, whenever the modified 3DS with a capture card comes in, is to actually play through like the Pokemon Dungeon games that I have, because I have pretty much all of those. Play through Black, White 2. Like, I want to do all that stuff eventually on stream. It's just waiting for the main piece of equipment to come in. My person is slowly making her way through the orders. It just takes time. Which I understand that, because sourcing freaking 3DSs right now is a pain in the butt, because it's the 3DS XLs. She got the capture cards. She just needs the actual consoles. She's also doing this around, you know, full-time work and college. Bump. I also think she had to repair 3 systems not too long ago. Because, yeah, we still use ribbon cables in these things, and, well, ribbon cables are the bane of everyone's existence. I keep trying to touch this ball and sweet, and it's just like, no, Puplio eggs must hatch first. Which, for... Hi, Pup! It's been a minute! How you doing today? There we go. What happened to your PC? Or should I say, how did the PC break and or die? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Oh god, I have Puplios. Due to the sudden drastic temperature. Yeah. So now your PC's kind of broken. Yeah, that happens. Especially if it overheats. That sucks, though. It has lines. Ugh. Oh god, I have to keep going through this. Guys, I messed up. I messed up. The good thing is they all should just be at just barely a low enough level to where they don't evolve on top of this. I didn't think this through, alright? I was just, ooh, something to encounter. I know they haven't announced it yet, but it will be coming eventually. What do you want for Gen 10 story / gameplay wise? Something that runs at 60 frames a second instead of 20? No. That is my hope right now. Not open world. I mean, if it's open world, give me actual scaling for levels. Yeah, I was gonna say, give me actual scaling instead of just zones. I want an actual legendary again instead of just another version of a new Pokemon. Yeah. Yeah, because Koraidon and Miraidon aren't legendary Pokemon in the normal sense of the word. You get 2 copies in the game. And on top of that, like, it's just like, oh, well, these are Paradox Pokemon. It's showing what could be on the Silazar. I want less shiny locks. Amen to that, pup. I'm completely over them shiny locking everything that's new. That was the one raid event I did, which was for the 2 shiny gimme ghouls, because it's like, they're never going to offer this again. And we're old? Yeah. The fact that we still don't have a shiny, like, legit shiny Victini, and that was, what, Gen 5? Yeah. And don't distribute shiny mythicals via freaking GameStop code cards, please. It's so stupid. Just let me be able to soft reset for the damn thing. Got your Pogo Shaman last Tuesday? I'm still on the first step for the Shaman. It's terrible IVs. Are we surprised by this pup? Every guaranteed shiny mythical they give us is terrible IVs. Is the background broken or is it because of the new update? It's probably the new update. Nope. Oh no. What have you sent me now? Oh my gosh, pup, that's awful. Oh yeah, no, the background's just broken. Got you. That's just straight broken. Murder. We must murder the children until we find the special child. Got it, so they didn't update the background. No. Wait. Are you talking about the Pogo avatars not being nice? Because I know those are broken AF. Because they didn't do those appropriately. Don't know. What happened to your avatar? The fact that mine head looks too small for my body because the shoulders are incredibly wide for some reason now. Like, the Pogo avatars, man. What other avatar? I don't know. For all I know, you could be talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender. The answers are lots of avatars, alright? I wish. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Yeah, no, I'm still on the first page, though, for the Shiny Shaman, I think. They put all Avatar franchise releases in 2025? Yeah. Hey, man, I'm just glad we're getting more animation stuff. Alright, I was not a fan of what I have seen of the Netflix one. I'm not a fan. But for now, I gotta manage to fix your PC. Yeah, I feel that. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. I'm just here. I'd be vibing. See, I figured you just got sucked into the end of school stuff. Bum, 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 bum. I got 2 weeks before I'm done-ish from Gone for 6 this week, so I'm not really in a rush. Oh yeah, I'm definitely am. Yeah, I figured your end of school stuff was getting crazy. I was like, it's that time of year where school goes nuts and everyone starts dying. Yeah, I'm still on page 1 for Shiny Shaman of the 900 or 392 from gens 1 through 4 because I don't get spawns where I'm at. And then, but with PC being broken, cloud save issues, teachers not explaining stuff, and them just leaving you on your own. Oof, that sucks. 492, sorry. Again, I don't get spawns, so I'm still on page 1. I literally, the only chance I had to really work on them was the first day of the Sinnoh tour. And ever since then, it's just been constant rain, and I have to, like, go into the city to catch anything. Also, second and third are catching stuff 21 days in a row. See, that's fine, because you get your one daily, like, guaranteed catch spawn thing. 12 days of friendship's not bad. I mean, to be fair, I'm still trying to get my shiny Jirachi because I still need 4 more freaking Kecleons because they don't spawn on the stops around here. Because, again, no spawns. Like, it dumb. No, but it stalls 2 months? Eh. I'll get there eventually. I got the Kecleons in 2-ish weeks, but I went crazy for them. Yeah, it was not great for me. I love the fact that I got a Kecleon, and a shiny Kecleon at that, during the freaking Go Fest last year. I'm hoping Go Fest goes well for me this year, because I should have that entire weekend off. It'll be Go Fest in mid-July, and then end of July we'll do the stream anniversary stuff. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. And we shall burn the world. I wish it wasn't an internship with the Madrid Go Fest. See, as interesting as it would be to go to Madrid, like, I don't speak enough Spanish. And the Spanish I do know is not regular Spanish. It's not Spaniard Spanish. What did I run into? Okay, good. I was like, did I run into Bonsweet? Yeah. See, my big issue, like, because with us being in Germany, we know Espanol, so stop talking Espanol. I didn't say anything in Espanol. But, are you just talking in general, like if you go to Spain? Got you. As much as we want to travel and stuff, the issue is like this summer travel is like a non-option for us because of Paris hosting the freaking Olympics. Oh god, I gotta look up and see when those start so we know when that hell begins. Can't because you're in Ireland. I mean, valid. And once again, we are out of fire moves. Alright. We shall once again ride the bike to the PC to heal, and then we'll go back to Bonsweet. The funny thing is I think I have Shiny Ninjask, but I need Nincada and the Shedinja. Which Shedinja is going to be a pain, so it's probably going to have to be the 2 Nincadas and then evolving into Shedinja. Which is a pain. Everything's pain. That's why I just was suited for Nincada. I mean, fair enough. Yeah, I have Oras. I don't have a completed playthrough on it, but I have Oras. It's one thing I really need to start doing, but Route 105 I think it is. Okay, that's not bad. Hordes for Nincada. Okay. 40%. Ooh, that's really good. Like I said, I'm still waiting on the modified 3DS to come in. I still gotta wait for a bit, it seems like, though. Because while my person's working on them, she has quite the backlog. And college and full-time work, so I can't blame her. 6% Zigzagoon, 35% Nincada, 5% Talo. I mean, I need a lot of Gen 3, so. I think the only thing I have covered from Gen 3 is... I think the entire... Is it the entire Torchic line, or is it just... I think it's just Blaziken I have shiny. I know most of the starters I have the final form shiny. But not the babies and not the middles. The awkward teen phase. I still need to do Score Bunny for this one. I wanted to do something other than Gen 9. Or Gen 8, sorry, this one's Gen 8. Gen 9, I know I only have one of each of those. Because I got one super fast in the other ones. I went to Masuda for Torchic once. I got Darkrai, but I've been very demotivated with everything. That's understandable. It's been a while since I've done like actual shiny hunting because there was just a point where I was like, I wasn't tired of shiny hunting. I myself was struggling. Like, as an entire human being, I was struggling with everything. Which is why we went back to more story-based games, because I can engage with stories a lot better than I can with the shiny hunting. Now that I'm doing a little bit better and I'm kind of slowly working back on bettering my mental health, it's like, okay, shiny hunting I can handle again. I can't find the time motivation to work on shiny hunts because my school is expecting me to do able comprehension tasks that are higher than your grade. That's weird. Because isn't this your final year at school, or do you have another year after this? Right, I still need to get another shiny Pumpkaboo too. Ugh. Not me remembering the pain that I still have to get Gourgeist shiny. Oop, hold up. I sell sparklies, which means I must pick them up. I'm also slowly trying to, like, build up my fossils so we can do the shiny fossil hunt in this game. But it's so long to get freaking 50 of each fossil. And I'm in single digits still for fossils. I'm like, ugh. I don't even think I have the Dino ones. I'm doing the scholarship on the grade risk class 4. Every task is 4. I get grade like 3rd, and I get my degree on the 3rd. Ah, okay. I think you remember that you talking about that. You do more effort than I get out of it? Yeah. Still got a year, yeah. So weird they're having you do everything at a higher level. Like the rest of the class, like everything's 4th, but then you get graded for a 3. It's so weird to me. Do. As far as I've heard, the difference will be at 3rd year, but I really doubt that. Yeah. Especially as much trouble as your school's been giving you this whole time. Shaky, shake, shake, shake. Shake, 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 shake. Flashbang. I really, really want... I know what I want in Gen 10. And I doubt we ever get it. But let us have mass egg hatching. Just one screen where all the eggs hatch, just like in Pokemon Go. You know? Just let me have that, please. Nope, right here, wrong button. That is what I want. Thank you. Boop. Boop. There we go. So we're almost halfway through our eggs. And we go back to looking for Bounsweet. Beep off, Cramorant. Could you imagine if Pokemon, like in Gen 10, we got like mass egg hatching, and then someone hatches 5 eggs and they're all shiny? Mass egg hatching would be nice. They'd probably make it post-game thing though. Probably. But it would be really nice instead of take a step hatch, take a step hatch, take a step hatch, you know. That's one thing I do enjoy with the Pokemon Go, where they all hatch simultaneously. Hi, Dewpider. I will eventually have to shiny hunt you, my little dude. I also still need a shiny hunt another Joltik? Yeah, another Joltik. He's bouncing after me. It's so cute. Which we still need to finish the Let's Go Pikachu playthrough so I can shiny hunt and Let's Go. I'm still hoping I can fix the PC before the end of the week. Just hoping not to have to order new PC parts. It both takes a while and is expensive. I'm not good with such. No, I have Grubbin. I have the Grubbin line. And I have 1 Joltik, so I need 1 more. Yeah, I got full Grubbin line. And then... I think I got 2 Swaddles. I need 1 more, I think. I can't remember if I got full line Swaddle or not. I'll have to check in home. There it is. No, come here. Wait, what am I saying? I can check right here. I'm dumb. Hang on. I did grass encounters. Thunderstorm, 70% Joltik Grubbin. Ah, got you. Let's see. Swaddle is Gen 5. Scrolly, Gen 4. There's Gen 5. Was Swaddle Gen 5? I'm pretty sure it's Gen 5. Yeah, I need one more shiny Swaddle for Lavani. Yeah, 540. The shiny dex tracker I use breaks it up by generation. Like, they're all together consecutively, but it's broken by generation, basically. So, as long as I know what generation I'm in, I can usually find what I'm looking for. Have you tried Poke Rogue yet? I've not. I don't have any good luck when it comes to the ROM hacks and my save files just not being eaten by random things in the ether. Like, as much as I would love to do, like, a random Nuzlocke to another ROM hack game, or just another game period, I'm so cursed with freaking save files just disappearing. I'm like, no. Very grindy, though. Fair enough. I know it's a site. Like I said, anything, like, even my older Pokemon games are just cursed when it comes to the save files still. Hi, female Pikachu. I don't want to deal with you. Yeah, like, with ROMs is more common. But remember when I tried the basic vanilla Emerald Nuzlocke? I think you were around for that. You might have been, I don't know. Yeah. That save file just stopped existing too. Multiple times. And that was on the actual cartridge. And then we've got, you know, the fact that we've started Pokemon Yellow, what, 3 times, and my GameCube's just like, no, I need this part now. I need this part now. And it's like, damn it. Which I have the parts to fix it again. I just have to crack it open and have Mr. Wolf do some soldering for me. Yes, come towards me. Come towards me, you bouncy little... I think it's supposed to be a bonbon, but it looks more like a cherry to me. I know we have Cherubi, which is very much a cherry, but that's just what it looks like. There we go. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I just love that there's a little horde of them behind me, and they're like, what you doing? Where you from? They're so innocent. And then you burn them, and it's so much fun. Ugh. It sounds like the thunderstorm outside's calming down now. Ooh, Tropius. Anyone need the banana Pokemon? Oh, the banana tree Pokemon. Tropius was always a weird Pokemon to me. For the longest time as a kid, I didn't understand why it had bananas under its chin. And then I was like, oh, they're growing from it. It's a banana tree. That makes sense. Da 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 da. Do 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 do. It sucks because I have no idea what to do. Oh, because of your computer? I bet. Dun 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 dun. 'Tis raining, not dip. I want to game, but the PC won't let me game, and I have nothing else really to do. I'm sorry, pup. That's always rough. You're just laying on your bed and turning a lot. I feel that. I do that a lot. Like, when I don't know what to do, I'll start pacing. I'll pace, or I'll just lay in bed and scroll TikTok while rotting. It's a sad day. Two fans running in the room because this room's too hot otherwise. I feel like we just had thunderstorms come through, and it's nice because it's actually cooling off, but we've had the ACs going, and it's just like, I can see if I clean the inside of the PC and see if that helps. I might try that in a bit. That's fair. I mean, the biggest thing is figuring out if it's the GPU that overheated and fried, or if it's the CPU that overheated and causing issues. Because it may just be like you need to pop the CPU off the board and clean up the thermal paste and reapply. But with it doing that line output, I'm not entirely sure. I haven't had to mess with a whole lot of overheat PCs. Little Cramorant. I do not want the false bird. Oh, there's one. They blend in really well with the grass. All right. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I heard one. I don't see it. Where is it? You're not it. You're another Baroach. Baroach, unless you're golden, man, I don't want to deal with you. Which I already have Shiny Wish Cash. I don't even remember how I got Shiny Wish Cash. I just know I have one. I know I need Shiny Baroach because it was on the bounty board for Legends Arceus for the longest time. And then I realized Baroach outbreaks are even rarer than Cherubi outbreaks. So I'm like, well, I don't want to reset for 3 hours trying to get the same, like, a certain outbreak. Heatwave, go. Ow. Do 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 do. You guys are so cute. I guess I need to figure out if I'm going to shiny hunt Applins in this game or if I'm going to do it in Scarlet Violet, since there's 3 evolutions to Applin now. Well, technically 4, because you got the one that's now 3 stages. Oh god. So I need Applin, Diplin, Appleton, Flapple, and then Hydrapple. Oh my god, that's so many! There's so many Granny Smith apples we gotta find. It's alright, for now we'll stick with the Bon Sweets. Hello, Impidimp. If you randomly sparkle, I will scream, because, like, we got the middle form of you earlier today, and you would complete the line. Bon Sweet? Nope, Dewpider. They're so small, I can't see them. They're tiny. They're tiny, tiny. Okay, run away. Alright. Bon Sweet. Not Cramorants. Or Dewpiders. You. You are what I am looking for. Bum bum ba-dum bum bum. Yes. Yes. Burn. I will admit, I've missed chill shiny hunting streams. 'Tis been a day. Also, my boss has started working on the next schedule, and I'm like dreading it because I'm like, because she's like, so she spent comp time, right? Like she disappeared for a week, type of thing. It's kind of what led to the craziness that we've had going on. Yeah, because of the said craziness, she's already recouped all the comp time that she spent, so she now still has the same exact amount to burn. I'm just like, great. So you're going to disappear again in another 3 weeks. It wouldn't be bad, but we've had someone that they've been like hiring for our department, and that person's been in limbo for like 2 months. And it's like, I understand part of that was because they were moving, but why haven't they started yet at this point? Because they're done moving? Like, is there a button that someone forgot to hit again? Because that seems to be the main MO, is like they forget to hit the button and then they're like, oh, right. And like 7 people get mass hired all at once because they've literally done everything they needed to do. And they're just waiting for an official start date. But then someone forgets to hit a button. Like, guys, I get it. Technically, we're a government position, and technically, like, means we have to do the BS of being hired for the U.S. Yeah, it's just, it's so much. It shouldn't take 6 months to get onboarded. It really shouldn't. Granted, I got onboarded in like 2 weeks, but I was like hounding them about it. I was like, listen, I'm going crazy. I need something. Bone sweet? Yes, come to me. Bouncing little curious babies. Bam, 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 bam. Which we will probably go until Ponyta is out of fire moves again and I hatch the next set of eggs in my inventory. And we will honestly probably call it because dinner is fast approaching. She's just sitting there screaming at me like, what are you doing? Why are you here? Go away. And it's like, no, listen. I had to see if you were the chosen one, which you are not. And therefore, perish. Why perish? Because it's just been that type of day. But I will take the shiny Morgrim. That was nice. I also didn't know it was going to be that blue. The white hair wasn't surprising, though. Yeah, you're another one. I was like, are you a Dewpider? Like, I just see the question mark. You guys are so cute. You're so bouncy, too. Like, I know it's supposed to be a type of fruit, but it gives bouncy ball vibes. There you go. Just someone make a bone sweet bouncy ball and chuck it someplace. Yeet it into the stratosphere. I remember. So, I grew up in the era where there was always those little like quarter in the U.S. They're little quarter machines. You put a quarter in, you get a prize. And sometimes it was candy. Like some machines were set up with candy, some machines were set up with stickers, and occasionally you had some that were 50 cents, set 20 cents, 25 cents. And they were set up with bouncy balls. And I remember at one point, there was a place, like a restaurant had them. Like, they were real common in family restaurants type of thing. There was one that was really in a popular restaurant for, like, a lot of the kids my school went to. And it was really funny for me because we all, like, pretty much within a week, most of my class had gone to this restaurant. Not because we wanted to, like, it was just coincidental. And we'd all gotten bouncy balls out of the machine. Because, you know, we're kids. I remember all of us at recess seeing who could bounce their bouncy ball the highest. And at one point, I remember one of my classmates taking the bouncy ball and spiking it so hard into the ground, it just split in half. Like, it literally just perfectly split in half. Right along the seam. We just stopped and stared at it. Because obviously it didn't go anywhere. It just split in half and fell over. We're like, wait, what? Because we didn't know that was a thing. So then it became everyone handing them their bouncy balls to see if he could split their bouncy balls in half. It was just his. That was also because we kept launching them up so high and they kept bouncing out of the play yard or schoolyard into the road. That's also how we got bouncy balls banned from my class. It was a fun day. My class was always the class that rocked. Well, we got in the most trouble, and like if something was fun or considered a trend, we would get it banned within a week because my class just did everything in excess. But it wasn't like my class's fault. It was the fact that we were just a obscenely large class for the school itself. And so it was just, well, we suffer. And it's like, okay, we're used to 5 or 6 kids doing this in classes that are like 10 to 12 kids. This was a class of like almost 30 constantly. And at least 20 of us were doing it. And it's like, yeah, this is deemed a hazard now. And it's like, why? Why is it a hazard? Wimpods are going to be a pain in the ass to find to shiny hunt, aren't they? Because like I know he's like a regular strong spawn, but Wimpod, oh boy. See, this rock should be the leak rock, so I'm not super worried about it. I'm so glad I already have Galarian Farfetch'd and Surfetch'd. I just need regular Farfetch'd. Which that one's gonna be a pain if I shiny hunt it and let's go. Might just be breeding it in the Suna method on Sword here with, and I think it's an Everstone, gets you the regular Farfetch'd, not the Galarian. I think it's this Everstone that you use for those. I once got something banned from a school. It was those weird rubber bands, bracelets that had fun different shapes. Yeah, we got the silly bands banned at my school too. Which I never understood why they were banned, because like, I don't know if you're old enough for these Marvel. Do you guys remember, if anyone remembers these, like the slap bracelets? Do you remember slap bracelets?
I'm still trying to figure out how the fuck you got the silly animal shaped.
Well, there was a lot more than just animal shape, but yeah. We got the silly bands. I don't know how we got them banned, because we weren't like launching them like rubber bands or anything, because I know some schools were doing that. Like you would launch them like rubber bands, or people like were obsessively trading / stealing them, and it was causing problems. Like, I don't know how we got the silly bands, but the slap bracelets, we got those banned because we would beat the shit out of each other with them. At one point, because we were like 5th grade when those were popular and we had sewing class, we started sewing the covers of the slap bracelets together to make longer slap bracelets to beat the shit out of each other with. We made slap swords. That I understand why those got banned, and they got banned in a hurry. But I still don't understand how my school got silly, like my class specifically got the silly bands banned. Making progress on opening the PC? Good. You can do it. I think we're just gonna hatch out these last 31 eggs and we'll go from there. Yeah, leak. It's always a leak. I haven't been down to the second half. After 10 minutes, I got the side off. Hey, man, I'm going to assume that your PC had thumb screws, and thumb screws are a pain in the butt sometimes. Sometimes they're really nice. Other times, not so much. Hello, Halucha. Da-na-na-na-na-na. Ah, it's a blizzard over here too. I love how this game makes no sense on like these little tiny micro ecosystems that have their own weather patterns. I'm like, they are so close together. This makes no absolute sense, but you do you, Pokemon. We're just gonna blame the bird trio. And a Pikachu in chat. It's always a Pikachu. Dun 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 na 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 na. Low-key wish you could skip the animation for hatching. But I think that's just because Masuda method hatching is Masuda method hatching, and you get really tired of watching eggs hatch some days. It's okay though. Before our next shiny hunt session, I'll go ahead and make sure we have plenty of eggs, as well as I'll probably do more Cranidos eggs in Scarlet, because I've done a set of 60 with no luck. I already have, because with Cranidos and Shieldon, I already have their big form shiny. I just need the babies, and while I know they spawn in Scarlet Violet, I'm like, I want to deal with the sandwiches, so eggs. Bum 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 bum. Paplio, why? Why are you like this? Okay. What are you doing over there?
Lowering my chair.
I don't know, Marvel. I never assume anyone's old enough to remember anything. All right, sometimes I don't even remember what I did for, like, what I had for lunch or some shit, okay?
Sounds like a personal problem.
Yeah, it's called goldfish memory.
No, sounds like selective memory.
Why would it be selective? Why would I forget what I had for lunch? Or even if I had lunch? No,
Because it's not necessary to remember it.
not necessary. But yet, I still remember a squared plus b squared equals c squared and all that fun jazz. And I don't use that crap on a daily basis. I hardly ever use that crap.
It's like, what's the powerhouse of the cell?
Mitochondria, bitch.
What's energy for the cell?
ATP.
See?
Yeah, but you realize how much I had to recall that crap in freaking college? And technically mitochondria...
For ATP.
Huh?
What's the chemical compound for ATP?
That I didn't have to memorize. I can picture the diagram for it, though.
Oh, come on, biochem.
Hell no, I was not biochem. I took biochem. I was not a biochemist, though.
Biochem.
No, I hate chemistry, and you know it.
Biochem.
No. And that wasn't biochem. That was cell molecular, which was even worse, because it was frickin' Biles teaching it.
Close enough for government work.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is.
No. Biochem was its own special sort of hell. It was even worse because I took cell molecular right before it and then immediately went to biochem and went, oh god. How do I take
The
the...
same, but not the same.
Yeah, they're the same but not the same. And if you use the biology terms in the chemistry class, you fail the chemistry class. And if you use the chemistry terms in the biology course, you fail the biology course. Because F you suffer, and we only offer these classes together. My college was weird.
You would think, because they're fucking the same, you just use the actual scientific terms.
They were using the scientific terms, but they were using the terms for chemistry versus the terms for biology or vice versa, depending on which professor you had.
You would think it was habit agreement, just choose one.
No, that was the thing. Those two professors hated each other, which is why it was the way it was. All right, swaps in the exit eggs. Do. All right. We have 20 eggs remaining. Well, technically 21 because there's one single one, but I'll probably save that last one. Do. It's like freaking arguing with people about why we need potassium in our bodies.
You don't need potassium, you don't need salt.
Uh-huh.
It's a government conspiracy like birds.
Okay, birds are just weird. I'm not calling them a government conspiracy. They're just fucking weird.
Why do you think we had COVID?
Because people suck?
Because they can recharge the birds, not get caught.
Uh-huh. You're trying to make me have a brain aneurysm back there, aren't you? Nope, not the Steelix. Why is it always the Steelix? Yeah, I don't need you, bud. Ay! Do. Meow. Skunk tank I have. Oh, I hate when I hit the button for the speed boost right as the eggs start hatching. It's like, well, I wasted that speed boost. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Burp. Oh? What do you mean, oh? I hear another round of rain coming in. I blame you. It's your job to stop making it rain all the time. He's ignoring me, chat. Ba-na-na-na-na-na. Yes. Good. Good. I have no idea. I'm just waiting for one of these to be slightly a paler blue. I assume it's a paler blue. It seems like water types either go pale blue or purple, and that's about it. What? Oh god, what has broken at work now? Oh goody. Great. One of my coolers is broken now. Yay. That's gonna be fun to deal with tomorrow. Because as we know, emergency work orders means it'll get fixed in 6 to 8 months. Which, oh yeah, babe. So you know how I told you how they like finally started fixing everything all of a sudden, right? I found out why. Because they were fixing, our maintenance guys were fixing to lose their contract, i.e. they were fixing to get fired, so then they started doing 3 years of backlog of freaking repairs. It took them 3 years of not doing their job before they were threatened with losing their jobs. They have fixed 6 things, and they have since disappeared again. I hate our repair guys. Well, that's a Diggersby. It's a big angry rabbit. Which Bumblebee always spawns over here, so Bumblebee may be something. We also shiny hunt over here. I don't know if I want to shiny hunt a bunch of Gen 5 Pokemon just yet. I'm curious to see what, like, how big of a Pokedex we're getting out of Legend Z through A. If it's a tiny Pokedex, yeah, I'll do a lot of shiny hunting still in Sword and Shield. I swear. Of course, I wonder if Preston's the one who broke our cooler. He was messing with the circuits. When Mr. Preston messes with the circuit board, things have a tendency to break. Hi. I already have your entire line shiny. I don't need you, buddy. Thank you, though. And it's cute that, like, 4 of you popped up at once, but we're just trying to finish hatching out the current number of Popplio eggs that we have. And I really don't want to just go in circles. Which this will put us to 90 Popplio eggs, because we had 30 already. And then we ended up with 61, but we're going to save that one for next time. Like I said, before our next shiny stream, I'll have more Popplio eggs in this game. I'll have more Crenidos eggs in Scarlet. We'll do more Outbreaks in Scarlet, probably. I just want to do a few shiny streams without DAs, because, like, DAs are kind of what burned me out a little bit. I know we still need to get the shiny Raikou. I know we still need the shiny Turkey and the Lugia, but slowly but surely we will get there. I don't mind DAs. It's just, they always take at least 20 minutes for each run and everything else, and it's just, it can be a lot. Which I need to reset my Shield playthrough anyway, so we can have the Shield exclusives for the legendaries to shiny hunt that I caught, because I didn't know you could shiny hunt those. I assumed they were shiny locked, which obviously they're not. And we also need to do it so we can soft reset for Reggies, because I don't think I have a single one of the Reggie shiny. And then I'll have, once we're done with that, and once we're done with the shinies possible in this one, I'll reset Sword so we can get whatever Reggie, either Regilucky or Regidrago that we don't get in the other one. Nope. We're not saving just yet. We have 10 more eggs. Doo-doo. None of you have shined yet. Delibird. I was like, what is that? It's a Delibird. It's snowing. Of course it's a Delibird. Which I need... Oh, speaking of Zapdos. I have shiny Furret, so I need shiny Sentret still. Yeah, I know. You're just gonna run from me, dude. I don't care about you right now. You're shiny locked. I really don't care. I have the one living at home, and that's about all I give a crap about. Well, Dwibble. Dwibble. I'm also surprised I haven't gotten a shiny Cloth in Scarlet yet. It's alright, though. Eventually we will get the blue crab. I think Dwibble's green. I think it's shiny Crustle, but not shiny Dwibble itself. I have one of them shiny. Listen, there's over 500 shinies. I'm not going to remember exactly which all I have. Do, 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 do. 'Tis a normal Poplio. Da 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 bump. Do 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 do. Like how it just slowly walks. What's up, pup? What happened with it? What's going on with the PC now? Did you figure out what got fried? Or have you lost all picture now? Some cables disconnected from each other and no idea how they were first. Oh no! It's the worst. And they're not labeled at all, are they? Darn you. Yeah, Pup is kind of here in spirit, Archer. Pup's PC has overheated and is causing problems. Alright, 5 more eggs. Bip. Full workout. Anyone here have any idea how some PCs work? We got some good ones. Squat them with the med ball, of course. Ah, of course. All right, 30 squats. Ugh, I have to take my headset off, though. The cable is not long enough otherwise. All right, let's push chair back. Ugh, stretch first.
Med ball.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, here comes Moraine, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Herp. There we go. Full workout complete. I did switch those around, did I? Didn't I? Yes, I did. Okay. The paranoia sets in. I'm just gonna chase the chicken. Or is this technically a turkey? I don't know what this one classifies as. Chicken or turkey? I'm so close. I got it. Hi. I don't think I have a Master Ball left. I do not. All I have is a quick ball. Try it and see. Nope. Okay. Ponytail may not live this. What do you do? Bye, chicken. I don't care. You've already been cut and you can already be shiny. I'm just trying to hatch eggs. There we go. It bothers me so much that those birds are shiny locked. Like, why is Regieleki and Regidrago not shiny locked, but the birds were? It makes no sense. I understand Cubfu and Urshifu, which I'm so salty over all the reintroduced legendaries in Scarlet and Violet being shiny locked for no reason. Like, you could just have them not be the shiny overworld sprite and then just do the encounter resets, like, at normal. But instead they were like, no, no, no. We just don't want you to shiny hunt them, period. I'm willing to bet we go to at least 200 for the first shiny Poplio. I know the odds are 1 in 512. Time to contact old friends, BRB. Good luck, pup. Do. Do. Still not a shiny boy. Nope, okay. So only one shiny for us today. That's fine. I'll take one shiny. Any shiny is better than no shiny. And again, I didn't really have a plan. I was just like, we'll see what we can find. Alright. We've saved that. Yay. Home. So, as a quick reminder, we are not having a stream tomorrow, but we are doing one Saturday morning my time. I keep looking at the wrong week. Which will be Fallout. And it'll be starting at 2 a.m. U.S. Central Standard Time. It is 9 a.m. for European Central Time. Because, yes. I'm sorry to my people in the U.S. But it's Fallout. I'll be playing it all day type of thing. We'll be continuing Fallout 3 at that point. Next week, we only have 2 streams, and that's Wednesday and Thursday, because my work schedule next week is atrocious. If I can squeak in one more, I will, but I've got 2 guarantees, and it's Horizon Forbidden West and Fallout. Other than that, before our next round of shiny hunting, I will go ahead and, like I said, have eggs up. Other than that, we will do more outbreaks, probably. I'm trying to think, is there anything else? Hopefully I can keep the rolling 4-week schedule going. The big thing is at the end of July, starting around the 26th, I believe is that Friday, we will be doing the stream anniversary for the channel, which I don't know what games we're going to play for that. I don't know what the challenges are going to be for that. I do know that I'm going to try to take that Thursday, Friday off because I'll be off that Saturday, Sunday. So I'll have 4 days where I just get to focus on streaming, basically. And that may be what it is where it's just 4 days where I'm streaming like crazy. But we'll see what games we're into and what we're playing at the time. As we get a little bit closer, I will try to keep you guys ahead of that on scheduling what we plan on doing, if there's any goals or anything like that. But thank you everyone for joining in. Thank you for our new friends who have joined us, chatted. I appreciate everyone listening to me rant about agriculture and or horses. And I will see you guys next time. Please remember to take care of yourselves. Drink water, eat food, stretch if you can. If the weather's nice, go for a short walk in the sun if possible. If the weather's crazy, please stay safe. I completely understand wherever you are that weather is crazy. And I will catch you guys Saturday, hopefully. Have a good night and or the rest of your day, and I will see you guys later. Bye, everybody.